Okay. Let's see if this is fired up, guys. I think we are live. It's been such a long time. The cobwebs have hopefully been removed successfully. Let's see if this is fired
up,
guys. I've already not muted myself, so there's one mistake already. I'm just going to mute myself there. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we are live. We are back. It's been such a long time. I can't believe I'm seeing faces returning in the chat. It's amazing to see you guys. Meisuko in. We have Max in the house. We have Stubbs Gaming in there. So many people coming back. It's great to see. But yeah, we are back. It's been such a long time. Like I say, it's been I think about a year since we done a proper podcast, and I did a stream I think in November, so I'm so sorry about the hiatus, guys, but lots went down in my life. And to cut a long story, the story short, it's been a bit of a mad year, and just I've been really excited to get back to it, and finally everything's sort of gone into order. And now I'm just, like I say, really excited to get back to it. And I've dearly missed my good friends Luke and Scott. So I just want to say hi to these guys straight away. How are you doing, Luke? It's been such a long time. What have you been up to, brother?
Yeah, no, it's good to be back, mate. Good to be back and to see you back. It has been quite a while. I literally can't remember the last one. Like I can't pluck it from my brain.
It's actually really funny because I was looking. I think it was an Xbox showcase recap.
Oh,
so it's kind of poetic,
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I
love it.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's always a good time to be back, really, because lots of games shown and lots of things to talk about. So yeah, great to be here.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you very much for coming back on. As I said it just in the green room, it's a chance for you to escape me, but you've actually come back, so I'm amazed. But yeah, no, it's a perfect time for this. Game showcase season is the best time of year, of course. So yeah, this is a good time to get back into it, and it's been a great showcase, so I'm looking forward to tucking into that with you in a sec. But Scott, bro, fresh back off holiday from walking many miles, and you're still ready for action. I love it. How have you been, bro?
Yeah, I've been good, mate. I honestly, when you said it was maybe last showcase, like last Xbox show, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back, mate. It's good to be chatting with you. Obviously, good to be chatting with Luke, and obviously it's good to see some familiar faces in the chat as well. So yeah, looking forward to this, mate.
Love it, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, it was honestly an honor to have you back on, and I'm very excited to get back into the flow of things. But obviously today, one step at a time, we've got some juicy content to tuck into, as I say. But we will be back on the regular now, guys. I'm going to be bringing the full repertoire of content for you on that indie goodness side of things. So yeah, thank you very much for coming back for that. Hopefully we can build the community and the momentum back up again. And you guys for being here straight away. You're the legends, eh? But yeah, let's get stuck into a little bit of action then. Obviously we're fresh off of the Xbox showcase, guys. I do have a image on screen which probably is going to haunt us a little bit, although we did see a little bit of Silksong in the show. So but I do think it was just kind of a recap, but it was a little bit naughty of Xbox. I thought they were playing a little good card there, but it was like an announcement without an announcement almost. But yeah, Silksong, I've left it on the screen there just to show it, but basically they were saying it's still coming later this year, which I think was kind of what they'd known already, and it was always coming to Game Pass day one in terms of Silksong, of course. But yeah, it was good to see it on there, and that on that nice device they've announced as well. But yeah, well, maybe I'll tell you what we could do is maybe just get an off the bat, fresh off the showcase that has just ended. Maybe get a bit of impression from you, how you felt about it overall. Starting with you, Luke, bro.
This would the Xbox One. Sorry,
that's the one. Sorry, yeah, I know there's been a lot.
Taking a sip of tea.
Yeah, we're just talking Xbox, and then we can dive into some other stuff as well. Actually,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, the Xbox One. It was a showcase.
It was.
That happened.
I get the feeling he was doing something while I asked him that question.
Yeah, no. It was okay. I think they said I think there's some good stuff there. But I didn't come out of it in the same way I came out of last year's show, and I think part of that is they set a very high bar last year for their show, and even the one before that was very good as well. So this one, and I know there's at least one thing here that probably made it like a 10 for you, but it didn't have the same impact on me, and we'll get into that and stuff. But yeah, it was it was a decent, like it was a solid show, but nothing particularly mesmerizing outside of a couple of highlights for me. So
no, that's fair enough. And I mean, actually, I might surprise you that I'm kind of maybe a little bit in the same sort of area as that. But maybe are you alluding to the Silksong being on the handheld, or are you?
I wasn't actually.
No.
I mean that was a nice thing, but I was on about the sequel to a certain game.
Oh yes,
that was announced.
Definitely.
Yes.
That was my highlight
so,
probably. Actually,
Although
getting into ahead of things, but I did like the Don't Nod one as well, because that definitely had the Jusant vibes. But it's got. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I apologise, but it was looking good. That. But let's that's a good off the bat sort of impression. We'll get into the more detail. I've got the games up on the screen, guys. Let us know in the chat, by the way. Of course, we want to hear from you what you thought of the show overall, and any standout games. Definitely let us know. And thank you again for everyone who's coming through. We've got Rescue Squad Culp coming back through again. See, it's a miracle to me that people are staying subscribed to me over a year later. So thank you for that again. It's amazing, guys. I appreciate that. But hopefully, like I say, the momentum will be resumed. But Scott Bro, how did you feel about it as a sort of off the cuff kind of instant reaction?
I think my thoughts are very similar to Luke's. Xbox have really set a high bar over the past maybe 2 to 3 years, and this is one of their weaker shows. And I think when you look at some of the things that they did this year differently to previous years. So, for example, they didn't do the live fan fest, and Aaron Greenberg, of all people, was kind of trying to temper expectations ahead of the show. I think it's obvious why. I think they knew that this year was maybe one of their weaker years compared to previous. It was still a good show, still some good games shown, and I'm surprised when you were talking about indies there. Maybe you didn't mention At Fate's End, which was actually one of my highlights of the show as well. But
was that the Thunder Lotus one?
Devs.
Yes, Thunder Lotus. Yeah, I did like that one a lot, and they've always got such a unique way of doing game design, basically. So I did really like that, and that was one I didn't catch the name of because at the time, like I said, I was trying to balance a million things.
I think the show in general, I think the format and the pacing's typically good. I mean, it is just trailer with maybe they cut to Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, and Phil Spencer at different points, but they were relatively short breaks in between trailers. So the format, I like the format. I typically like the pacing, but it's just I expect a little bit more from an Xbox showcase, and I think really for me the story of it is almost what wasn't there more so than what was. And like I say, I don't want to take anything away from the games that were there, because there were a lot of good games, but no Halo. They did show Better Gears, but not E-Day. There was no Fable, no Perfect Dark, no Counterband. I was maybe hoping, will this be the time to see State of Decay? Maybe will we see Splinter Cell? Ubisoft aren't doing their own thing this year. I know that's not first party, but so I think there's a lot of maybe I was hoping there would be something more, particularly from the first party there. But I think that's just like I said, and as Luke said as well, I think they've just set such a high bar in previous years that we come into these shows with quite high expectations, and it's hard not to have those expectations. But like I say, still a lot of good stuff shown. I'm keen to get in and dig into some of the bigger things announced.
Amazing. That's awesome. I like, for me, I think like I am the same really. I actually really enjoyed the Summer Game Fest show, actually, personally, but that's diverging a little bit to some other show. For now, we'll stick on the Xbox Showcase, but in comparison, I did actually think I preferred that show, which is quite unusual because usually Xbox show is really good, although there was a couple of really good things in the Xbox Showcase that we just watched, which were really solid, and I loved seeing, like you say, you already called it as Planet of Lana 2, and I loved all the underwater sections and everything in that looked really amazing. And I think that game is perfect for like the sequel, because it sort of set up a bit of ambiguity at the end, and that sort of cinematic kind of, it needs a saga kind of game, isn't it? That sort of thing, it's like a Star Wars almost, isn't it? But so I think that was really cool to see a sequel, and they had a good thing going with Xbox last time, wishfully, the developer. So it's really cool to see that coming back, and I will definitely be looking forward to that one. But overall, I thought, it was slightly lacking. I didn't know what they were going to do with the Silksong kind of thing. They came on and then it was like, it was there, but it was almost not there. And I wonder if that was very intentional. Probably is, obviously.
Yeah, I thought they were going to. I thought, right, they're showing it. They're going to have a release date trailer. Surely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
After
There's going to be now. Come on. Yeah.
Exactly. Was it 2 years ago now when they announced that Silksong was coming that
later
year?
this year?
Was that 2023? So
I think so. It's funny that
it's hard to take anything.
It's the same as before again.
Yeah. Is it? I believe want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a weird one. That it's not a release date. It's just there's some good footage on there on the handheld, and yeah, it's just weird. I thought because that was on there, that was like, oh yeah, we've had your joke now, and now it's going to be like Resident Evil 9 on the Summer Game Fest, and then okay, it'll come at the end or whatever, and then it didn't. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of was losing hope throughout actually that it wouldn't show back up.
Quick question for you both on Silksong then. Obviously, we've heard about it for a long time. It was shown off 2 years ago, like we said, at the Xbox showcase. And I think almost every showcase that we go into now, it's almost like it's pretty crazy how an indie game has so many eyes and gets so much attention. Like I said, literally every showcase, it's like, is Silksong going to be here? Do you think that has any sort of negative impact on the game when it does come out? Do you feel like it might be setting or might be giving people expectations that, while it's going to obviously be an awesome game, I don't think anyone will doubt that. But do you think there's maybe any consequences to the level of, I don't know, excitement that people have for the game?
You go, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question. I mean, it depends on how much you buy into it, doesn't it? Like how much you're invested in the hype for it. I think I've always tried to keep like a steady distance from all that stuff. And so, like, I expect it to be a good game, but I don't expect it to like change my life. You know what I mean? So, and it may well do, but if it does, that's just a happy surprise, isn't it? If it comes out and it's like like one of the best games ever made, then that's fantastic. But I think maybe some people are really into the weeds of hype for it, and I think that's probably a dangerous thing to do because you just invariably you're going to end up disappointed in some respect, even if it's terrific. So I think people just need to maybe like it's hard, but like
it's almost like
feel like people need to forget about
Beatlemania,
it.
Isn't it? Sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Team Cherry have their own like John Ringo and stuff like. It's just all Silksong.
Definitely.
I think people. People. I think it's not helped by the fact that people are starving to see more of it because it just hasn't been shown very much. And I think maybe once they do that first big proper re-reveal, everybody will calm down a bit, hopefully. But until that point, we'll just keep getting this cycle of hype.
Do you think do you think Team Cherry have not done the best approach then in terms of that, or do you think it's just that...
No, I think it's. I don't think it's their fault really. I mean, they're just building a game, and they're notoriously fastidious about making it like as good as possible. And they're also a small team, and they just kind of want people to piss off while they make the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't think they've done anything wrong in this. I think it's just the fandom around it is it's ravenous.
Yes,
in a way that not. I can only compare it to like a GTA fandom. Like it's quite bizarre. Like people like just eat everything about this game up and just want every little detail. So I don't think they could have done anything different other than try and make the game quicker, but they can't. They can't do that either. So and
it's good that
maybe
they're
the
doing...
only thing that they.
I was just going to say it's good that they're doing what they're doing, in my opinion, because they're not outsourcing anything. They're keeping it because they know they know the game better than anyone else,
and they're not staffing up too much. Like they're not trying to build. Like they want to keep it like the a small team, and and that means that it will take time. Yeah,
exactly. It enriches the experience because they know it best, kind of thing. Yeah. Sorry, Scott, you saying?
I was just going to say, I wonder if maybe the only thing that they could have done in hindsight is maybe not have announced it as early as they did.
Yeah.
Because I think I can't remember what the release cycle was for the original Hollow Knight indie. You might be able to remind us, but this is quite a long cycle from announcement to release for an indie game.
Yeah.
Typically it might only be a couple of months, but this is going to be years. So I wonder if maybe in hindsight they might be thinking maybe we should have held off. But when they announced it, maybe they had all the intention of releasing it within 6 months at that point. They wouldn't have Xbox wouldn't have come out and said that Silksong was coming in 2023 if they hadn't at least indicated to Xbox that it was coming. And then maybe things changed. Maybe the scope kind of got a little bit bigger as they were going through development. Development's difficult. We know that. So I think I agree with Luke. There's probably not an awful lot they could do.
No.
But I do. The only other thing that I would say is obviously it showed up in that sizzle reel in the Switch Direct, and it showed up in the Ally section here. I wonder if maybe they should have not done that and then and have just been completely quiet, but they're just giving these tiny little nuggets that I think is just keeping people talking about it. Obviously, doing it right.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, so in that sense, they are kind of doing it right in a way because they're keeping it on everyone's lips. But then it is crazy. But at the same time, I feel like you're gonna laugh your head off at this. But I feel like it's lining up for it's lining up for the Game Awards.
So you keep putting on that plan. You keep telling yourself
exactly. Yeah. I know Jeff's gonna get it. He's the big boy, isn't he? Like, I think Jeff's got it.
But would it? I mean, they said it's coming out when the ROG Ally Xboxy thing comes out, which is holiday.
Oh, is it?
So would it come? I was gonna say, do you think it'd come out that late for Game Awards?
So Game Awards. What's the date of the Game Awards usually?
It's December, isn't it?
Yeah, first week, like the 7th, 8th, 9th, around that time.
Do you think the Ally would come out then, or
no? It's got to be out before then. I would be thinking October,
maybe
November,
not then.
November.
So maybe they'll just do their own thing. I don't know. Then maybe it's not that. But I was thinking because Jeff mentioned it on the Summer Game Fest. I don't know if you saw that when they had.
He did the bit on it, didn't he?
Yeah, on Deadpool, and it was a little joke, and then mentioned Silksong. So I just thought, it's kind of like I think he wants it, and I think he's just mentioning it. I don't know, mate, that's completely wrong, but yeah, either way, they have said this winter season or whatever, didn't they? They said the later. Did they say later this year or late this year? Holiday. Actually said holiday.
Holiday. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, so and that's quite massive for a indie game to release in that time of year and not have to worry about it. I guess it's probably one of the only ones.
At least they have to worry about GTA 6.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because usually indie games are recommended to release other times of the year, isn't it? So, but that one probably not so much. Definitely not. But yeah, no, it was there. So there is that. Silksong was there.
It's a truthful statement, mate. It did show up.
It did, yeah. I saw Rayleigh, the Hollow Knight YouTuber, talking about it, and he was kind of like a little bit miffed about what it was shown in, the capacity it was shown in, if you see what I mean. So
I did just see, incidentally, on the Reddit, Lef, obviously, he said it's coming before holiday, and it's not tied to a console release.
Oh, okay, nice. So just be ready for later on for that then.
Yeah. Because I mean, their wording on it was slightly ambiguous. About, it wasn't as if they were saying it's launching when the ROG Ally Xbox launches. It just said when. Yeah,
it made it sound like a launch title, didn't it? Yeah, like Mario on the N64.
So that's great. So it's coming before. Maybe it's the next. Cool. I mean, that's quite a short window.
That is actually, yeah.
That's about 3 months or so.
Could be on my birthday in September.
I was going to say September sounds like a good time for it, doesn't it? So,
but if it was 3 months, would they not announce it? Now
maybe they just want to do it really short. Like maybe they just want to say, right, okay, actually, it's I don't think Shadow drop level, but maybe just it's coming out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's fair. I kind of assumed that maybe Xbox had maybe some sort of deal with Team Cherry because of the Game Pass deal, that maybe they would be able to be the place where they would maybe announce the release date. But obviously, if they're not ready to do it, they're not ready to do it. But yeah, if it's not that far away, then we can't be too far away from that eventual reveal. Maybe it'll be in a Switch Direct.
I was going to say, maybe Direct.
Could, exactly. Yeah, it could be just as easily be in a Switch Direct or Indie World, if you know what I mean. But that might even be too small for it now. But either way. It could be like the one more thing, couldn't it, on one of those or something? Yeah, so it's getting closer. I know we're saying it all the time, but I actually really felt like it was going to this time. I say that a lot. Well, I think last time I didn't feel it as much. This time I actually thought it's got to be, isn't it? Like, and then no. So I mean, it is. If that's the thing, it is, but it's not. It was there, so that's the loophole that they've managed to weave. For this particular scenario. So Silksong was shown at the Xbox Showcase. It just didn't have any new news. But what did you think of that handheld device, guys? It's just an ally, isn't it, basically, with an Xbox branding, is that right?
Yeah, effectively, yeah. I mean, it's made by Asus and it's, got the branding. It is like a pretty beefier device compared to the original ROG. I think it's more like a ROG Ally 2 in terms of spec, but it is just a ROG Ally with Xbox. But I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
Looks comfortable.
Yeah.
Nice big
fresh off of your complaints about the Switch 2.
Yeah, nice big grips. No OLED, which is disappointing, but the other stuff's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look quite chunky.
I think on the handheld, I think the most interesting part of that announcement wasn't the handheld itself. I think it was the fact that they're unifying, not unifying is not the right word, but they're doing stuff with the software where it's obviously Windows based, but it's almost like a slimmed down version of Windows where some of the background processes aren't going to be running. It boots straight into an Xbox based UI. And if you look at, Luke, you've probably seen this, because Steam just released the Steam OS distro for AMD-based handheld devices, and you might have seen some of the comparisons, particularly in battery life, but also in performance, where Windows ultimately is just so far behind Linux when it comes to handheld performance that really Windows needed to do something to try and bridge that gap at least a little bit. And it sounds like this is taking some steps towards that. So it's going to be really interesting to see the impressions when it comes out and how it compares to Windows now with this, whatever this new UI or OS version that they're touting. So, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be expensive. Unfortunately, you're probably looking at, I don't know, maybe about £700, something along those lines, possibly. And then when you compare it to the Steam Deck, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a tough sell. I think it's going to be, a bit of a niche product, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I see what I mean. Like a Steam Deck surely wins in that regard. It gives you more, but I guess it keeps you on the Xbox ecosystem if you're an Xbox guy kind of thing. But then what is that anymore, really?
Yeah, the Steam Deck's showing its age. I don't know if you're feeling that, Luke, these days. So a more powerful handheld, I think, is welcome. But
Steam Deck Game Pass as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is I think the main allure of it for someone like me.
Yep. Yeah, it's just annoying you'd have to have a whole device for that, if you know what I mean. Just to be on Game Pass.
But I mean, as Scott said, the Steam Deck's showing its age a bit now as well. Like, I mean, it's still a great device, but stuff that's releasing now that's on the slightly more demanding side, it's just not. You're just not capable of running it really on the deck anymore, without making it a horrible mess to look at anyway. But Steam Deck 2 hopefully at some point.
Yeah, it's
in the next couple of years.
Got to be, hasn't it? Really. I think I've hung up my boots. Is that what they say? Hung up my. I don't know what it is. I've given up on the world of handheld for myself just because I've decided I'm not really that guy. I always feel like I should be playing. I'm not a traveling guy. I'm not one of the. It just doesn't work for me, sort of thing. So I loved the idea of it. I really wanted to love the Steam Deck, but just wasn't really designed for me, I don't think, in the end. And I just, like I say, I'd always was thinking I would rather be playing this on the PC, really. Some people, I guess, it's not really made for, I guess. But if I was traveling more, I definitely would be all over it. But yeah, great to see Ruby in the chat. Thank you very much for coming in. I know you got your eye out for some Silksong. I don't know if you watched the showcase, but yes, there's some Silksong on the showcase, which you could see a little minute ago. But it was kind of, there's no release date, I'm afraid. There is a window of the winter season. So if you didn't see that, that's to keep you up to date as you've just popped in. Thanks for being here. So shall we dive through the showcase kind of from the start, game by game? What do you reckon, guys? What do you want to do? How do you want to tackle this? Or did you want to just go through? Yeah, should we run?
I mean, how to go through from the beginning, mate?
Yeah, sounds good.
That's fun.
That's going to go way too far back then because it was a pre-show. So yeah, first up was this is where I might need your help, Scotty, baby, as you're my trusty man on the old list I know you've got. But yeah, the first
it opened with Outer Worlds, didn't it? Outer Worlds 2, like a bit of a
that's right.
Teaser, obviously for the direct. So I guess it kind of opened and closed with Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, and obviously, what did you think of it? Basically, yeah, Outer Worlds 2. Are you excited for that game? I know, Scott, you've mentioned it's not so much something you're excited to see the direct of, but yeah, did you think it looked solid or?
Yeah, I think it looks good. I didn't play the first game. It wasn't really up my alley. I did watch a little bit of the direct afterwards, and the thing that really caught my eye was the bad knees perk, which I thought sounded hilarious. Where basically you stealth, when you're crouching, you can walk faster, but because the perk's called bad knees, when you stand up from crouch, your knees make a massive cracking noise that makes a load of noise for enemies to, they'll pick up on the noise and they'll spot you. So, but I didn't pay too much attention to be honest. Just I never played the first game, so it's not a game that's high on my radar at the moment. Did you play the first game, Luke?
Yeah, I sort of played 5 or 6 hours, and I just couldn't like get into it that much. I'm more interested in the second one because I think it looks quite good. So I will give that a bash. But I was a bit kind of meh on it opening the show, just because I'm not sure we quite needed an opening for something we already know get after the show.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird.
So it was a bit weird that they did that, but
there's no like, wow, yay, kind of. It's just
like
that
thing or interesting thing. It's like, oh, okay, it's a thing that's coming at the end. Cool.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange move.
The beginning of the show actually I really didn't like it all. First of all, for that reason, Luke. Okay, we know that that's coming. Fair enough. And I think really you've got two really big spots in a show. You've got the opening and you've got the ending. Obviously, you're not going to. I was hoping we would have something Halo, and Halo's going to be either the beginning or the end. And it wasn't at the beginning. Outworlds 2 was, and then we'll get onto the next game in a moment, but kind of it really just, I was just like, oh, okay. It wasn't a great start for me personally.
Yeah. I mean, I like the comedy aspect that they've got going for it, like you were mentioning.
The direct was pretty funny, actually. I thought.
So I noticed a bit of it.
If you watched it, but I thought it was pretty funny because I think normally they're quite. Not too serious, the directs that they do, but they're not taking the piss out themselves or anything like that. But I thought
unless it's hosted by Double Fine or something. It's a bit like a Double Fine vibe. But I mean, it looks cool. It's not. I don't know. I never sort of dived into the first one. I don't know. I like all of the kind of like artwork and everything with it. It's got a sort of an interesting aesthetic. I don't know. It wasn't one that got me excited really, but let's move on swiftly, shall we? Because I know you guys, well, at least one of you guys definitely played the first one of the original game. This one I know Luke, you're quite passionate about the maker of this universe kind of thing. So let's start with you on High on Life 2, man. What did you think of it?
I don't know. My thoughts have evolved a bit over time.
Oh,
on
really?
This. So like, yeah. So I mean, the first game was fun,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't go any further than that.
Okay. Yeah.
So more of it is I get it because it did well, but I can't say I was like, oh yes, you know what a great what a great announcement.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Second in
it
the
was
show,
more
yeah.
just it was more just sort of, oh, okay, cool, they're making another one that might be good, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, didn't really do much for me, but like cool that they're making a sequel. It's the first game did well, so
Yes, true. Yeah. Scott, how about yourself on this one?
Yeah, I hated it.
So
I'm
not
not
really
gonna
for you.
lie to you, mate. Yeah,
That's
it's
all right,
not my
yeah.
thing. I did try the first game, but yeah, it wasn't for me. Now I remember me and Luke, and you were probably there. It was probably on one of your shows when the first one was announced, and I'm not like a prude or anything like that, just to be absolutely clear. But the humor just really didn't resonate with me at all.
No.
It was a bit too much. But also, it's Rick and Morty, isn't it?
The creator.
Is it Rick and Morty? Yeah.
It was, yeah, but I don't know what Royland's doing with it.
Because he left before the first one released, didn't
so
he?
I think it's just
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's a bit like something to come then with Meat Boy. We'll talk about in a minute as well, where they parted ways. Anyway, sorry, back onto that. Yeah, sorry.
No. Yeah, so I mean it's continuing the same vein as the first game, clearly in terms of its humor and stuff like that and universe. But
yeah,
it's
Yeah. Okay, so I thought you might have actually been more up on it because I know you like the comedy of Justin Roiland.
And I do. I did like Rick and Morty humor, especially, but and I like the comedy mostly of the first game,
right?
But it's just not enough to excite me about a sequel. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. No worries at all, guys. Yes, cool. Like I say, thank you everyone joining us in the chat. Feel free to hit that like button. It would be massively appreciated. It really helps out. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If you love indie games, especially as we're going to be back on the train of indie goodness, bringing you that as much as possible, basically. But yeah, keeping on moving. What is the next game on the list, Scotty baby?
I believe it'll be, is it pronounced Resonance?
Resonance,
the Plague Tale game?
The Plague Tale one.
Nice,
yeah. So unfortunately, this is the one leak that I can recall.
Oh, really?
And they leaked it themselves on Threads, of all places.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one leak I've seen. And I'm actually really, really excited for this because I did enjoy both Plague Tale games. Requiem in particular, I thought was like a much better game than... Oh, what was the first one called? A Plague Tale?
Innocence.
Yeah, Innocence was the first one. Requiem was the second.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, it's not like a continuation of the original story. I don't know too much about it other than, it's obviously set in that universe. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more of that. I think 2026 for that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it looks quite intense. I like the obviously it's a cinematic, but I like the intensity coming through in it. But yeah, it looked really cool and cinematic. But yeah, Luke, bro, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I really liked Innocence, and I really liked Requiem. Actually, I just never finished Requiem. It got lost on the eternal backlog.
You need
I know. I'm halfway through it. I got halfway through it as well.
It's not that
I know.
long. Yeah.
I might pick it back up. Before this, I think the rumors were this was prequel-ish, obviously not following the main characters of Requiem, but I mean, I'm definitely interested in it because, as I say, I really liked Innocence, and of the half that I've played of Requiem, I thought it was excellent. So I've got a bit of time before Death Stranding 2, so maybe I'll dive into it.
Let's sack that off.
I can't sack off the game of the year, Scott. But yeah, it is a shame that this one leaks because it would have actually been one of the more interesting first game reveals in the show.
Yeah, look at that screen as well. Quite interesting for the PS5 And this little new thing they got
as well.
It's the full works. Obviously, this is to be expected, but I like the play anywhere button down there as well. Not button, but you know what I mean. They've definitely gone all in on that. I just thought I'd pause that for a second. Everyone already knew that.
Play anywhere was obviously a big theme of the entire show, which I think actually is a really underrated element of Xbox's kind of offering.
Definitely,
especially with the handheld, being part of the show. I've used Play Anywhere on my not my Steam Deck. Well, technically on my Steam Deck through cloud gaming, PC and Xbox, and I think it's actually really, really cool. So I'm glad they're showcasing that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm really glad they did double down on that because it really helps when you playing between PC and Xbox for sure. Good stuff. Wowzers in the chat. Mr. VJ is in the house. How are you doing, my friend? It's been such a long time since I spoke to you. Thank you very much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. I know you will have, well, I think you would have watched it. And there was some Silksong goodness in there, my friend. But yes, it's not a release date just yet, but we are almost there, I'm sure of it. But I'm so glad to see you in, VJ. Thank you very much for being here, buddy. Hope you've been well. So yeah, next up, it was actually what we talked a little bit about already, I believe. That's right. It was the handheld time. This is when the community went a bit mad, like I say, on Twitter and everything. Actually, funnily enough, VJ, that's what I was just talking about, wasn't it? But I was thinking it was quite funny though, just going back to it one more time. Silksong kept popped up once, and then it kept popping up at the time. That's what I was just thinking. Like, that's why I thought it can't be that they're just going to leave it, but they did, didn't they? It can't be there's no trailer at the end saying release date, but. Yeah, they just kept using that Silksong in the trailer of this Ally. It's quite funny. But yeah, it's obviously an intentional thing just to play with our hearts. But but yeah, I think we've covered this pretty much. I mean, is there anything you wanted to add about the seeing of the Silksong on the Ally, or anything about the Ally, or anything about this segment at all?
Not from me. No, we can
fully explain about. Yeah, no worries at all. Cool. Okay, so next after this, Scotties, you know what was that on the next on the
Blood of the Dawnwalker, I believe, which was who was the developer behind that one, Luke?
Rebel
Wolves. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. I can't actually remember which this one is. This might be when I was going mad.
It looked a bit like, I think people were kind of comparing it with kind of witchery combat.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's ex-Witcher. It's ex-CDPR devs.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they made their own studio, a AAA studio. They showed they announced it a little while back, and I think they showed a little bit of gameplay before, like a tiny sliver, but this had a bit more of it.
Cool.
And I love the concept of this, like vampires. We don't get enough of those in games, I don't think. And RPG and like the concepts of it. But I thought it looked pretty rough in this trailer. So it didn't look as nice as the little sliver of gameplay they showed before. But it's a while off yet, so I'll give them some grace on it.
What was the date on the never date or two on it?
It's just next year, I think. But conceptually, I do really like this, and obviously new IP. I always hope that does well. But yeah, it just looked a bit rough. It looked like it was a bit too early to show it in this kind of depth, really. So
I know what you mean, actually. Yeah. Scott, bro, how was you feeling about this one?
Yeah, it was the first time I'd seen this, actually. Look, I didn't realize it had been previously announced. I wasn't aware it was ex-CDPR. Ex-devs from those guys. The last vampire game I played was what was it?
Redfall, is it?
So I'm desperate for a good. And I know slightly off topic, but Blade also didn't make any sense. I know that's still probably some way off, but obviously that was a big deal. Was it last summer Game Fest? Maybe I can't remember.
It was. It was Game Awards.
Game Awards. That's right.
Not last one before.
Yeah. So. I thought it looked at least interesting. I do kind of agree with Luke that maybe it looked a little ropey, but as Luke also said, I think that can maybe be excused for a game that's maybe still a little way out, because it was obviously gameplay that they were shown. I at least want to give them credit for not just coming with a cinematic trailer. 2026 was all just on the subject of that. Yeah, that was a big theme, I think, also throughout the showcase. There was a lot of next year, with no firm dates next year, which you wouldn't necessarily expect at this point. But there wasn't an awful lot of 2025, if I'm not mistaken. But looks interesting. Looking forward to seeing a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I was too busy freaking out about Silksong had just shown up on this point, so I didn't really soak this one up at all. So I mean, I was probably just looking at it right now. I would say not a lot. I'd say
I assume you were more interested in the next game then, mate.
The next game.
A lot more of your ally.
You've enticed me.
Ally? Got ally on the brain.
Hello, my ally. Are you a salesman for Hog Ally? Oh dear. Right. Sorry. Cool. Let's have a look what that is. Actually, you've intrigued me now. But the last game looks very cool. I do like the vampire vibes. This is this definitely. What a tonal shift that is. I actually thought you were being genuine for a minute then. This game. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was. Sorry. No, you were actually speaking the truth. Then sorry. I didn't actually remember where we were going then with that trailer, and then I saw the Meat Boy pop out. But Super Meat Boy 3D. Yeah, this was definitely up my street. But the thing just to mention first of all, which I don't want to let get to me too much, is it's not Team Meat making the game, the original makers of the original Meat Boy. All I can say is about that is hopefully they are still overseeing the game, and hopefully they're making money from this as well. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? It's not, obviously they will be, but in a good way. I'm pretty sure that's all handled, but not really something that we need to worry about too much. I'm sure that's all being handled behind the scenes, and but I just think, and hopefully they are, being the creative advisor as well on it. I forget the names of the guys. Edmund, I think his name is, isn't it? The original Team Meat. Watch the indie game, the movie, if you want to find out about that story. That's very interesting. As a little side note about Super Meat Boy, but that is such a long time ago. I think, 'cause I was looking at the chat while it was rolling through on the main stream, and there wasn't many people going Meat Boy straight away, if you know what I mean. You know how you see when a game comes up, they go, oh yeah, I know this game. No one really was saying Meat Boy. So it makes me feel old, really, because maybe people don't know Meat Boy, because it is a long time ago, isn't it? There was Super Meat Boy Forever as well, which again wasn't the main team, which was like a auto runner, which was controversial as well, but I did have a good time with that actually. Super Meat Boy 3D, I think that looks really cool. I think it's I like the 3D aspect of it. It remains to be seen, because it's a bit of a, looser, obviously, it seems, than the tight precision platforming aspect of the originals. So it does remain to be seen how that will play. But I'm definitely, I was glad to see Meat Boy back on the Xbox, affiliation stage kind of thing. Because obviously with the Xbox 360, Super Meat Boy was a big deal in getting, the older indie games into the limelight and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this coming back for some more goodness. But yeah, how about you guys? What did you think about seeing Super Meat Boy back on the stage? How about you, Scott, baby?
I've never played a Super Meat Boy game. I'm obviously aware of it, but I've never. I know, man, I'm ashamed to say. How can I be on this podcast? And those words? But I thought it looked good. You talked about. Obviously, I'm familiar with it, even if I've not played it. I still think the platforming and everything looks really tight and precise.
It does
in this, which I'm assuming is what people would want from it.
Definitely.
So, Luke, I'm assuming you've played it though.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this move to 3D?
Yeah, I thought it looked quite good actually.
Yeah.
I quite like the look of it.
It's nice.
It's an interesting choice to make it 3D. But I think that could work as long as the controls are really tight.
That's it, yeah.
So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
That's how I'm feeling right now, yeah. But the visually looks really nice, and looks very vibrant and alive, and intense as always. Really, I think 2026, and basically you come in everywhere again on that. But yeah, I think this one actually will be, because a lot of people didn't like the auto runner aspect. Did you check out Super Meat Boy Forever at all, Luke? Or?
No, I didn't know, because it was an auto runner.
Yeah, a lot of people were put off by that. Although once you get going, you sort of forget it in a way. But yeah, I know why people would, obviously. But yeah, I think this one will do well, actually. I think it's solid looking and better than the previous one. And yeah, I think it looked really good. And Meat Boy is a great sort of, I suppose, franchise now. But yeah, it's just cool to see one of the OGs, I think, still going strong. And oh yeah, Edmund McMillan is the creator of the original, I just remembered. But yeah, looks really good, I think, and sounds like you're liking what you see. And I think we have to get Scott to correct a wrong there, and we can proceed with the podcast. I'm only joking. The Indie Games podcast is not correct without all three playing these OGs. Just kidding, my friend. It's impossible to play them all, isn't it? Really is. Okay, so yeah. Check us out. Let us know in the chat, guys, what you thought of a bit of Meat Boy action, Super Meat Boy. Have you played the original? And yeah, like I say, thanks for hanging out with us. It's great to have you in the chat and back on this channel doing our thing with us. So it's great to see you guys. But yeah, next up we had a pretty interesting game actually for me, this one, and it was Ninja Gaiden 4, wasn't it? I think. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one.
Cool. Yeah, a bit of Ryu, or Ryu, however you like to say it. Hayabusa, I think. Intense. Do you like this franchise, guys? Are you into Ninja Gaiden in this sort of 3D realm? Anyone takers for that?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
I mean, it was huge fan of the first two games. Not so much 3.
Nice.
I finished the remake of 2 that came out earlier this year as well, which is good. And so yeah, it's like I didn't really need to see any more of it, to be honest. I'm definitely going to play it. I generally like Platinum's games, and this one looks, it looks good. I don't know how much it will feel like Ninja Gaiden because it looks more Platinum than Team Ninja, but it certainly looks good. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really solid, actually. Really, obviously fast-paced, which is what it should be, and pretty intense, and just like, I think it was a good trailer, actually. A lot of gameplay in there, which, to be expected, but yeah, cool. Glad you like what you saw on that one. Again, it's one of those ones where it's sort of like, it comes on and I suppose we already know what the drill is, if you know what I mean.
I think if this had been the announcement trailer for it, I think that would have been massive. It would have been massive. But it was the dev direct in January. Was it January this year when they first showed it off? And obviously it was really exciting back then. I can't remember if they announced a release date back then, so maybe this was just a release date trailer. I think they said October some point. But yeah, it's just one of those ones where it's just like, I'm really, really excited from it. But because we've already seen it not that long ago as well, I mean, I guess it was 5 months ago at this point. It obviously didn't hit in the same way it did back in January. But Ninja Gaiden Black on the original Xbox, one of my favorite games on the original Xbox. So this was, I'm really looking forward to playing this. I do agree with Luke. It will be interesting to see how it compares to Team Ninja Gaiden, but we'll see. Really excited.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Let's keep this bad boy moving, shall we? And see what was next after that. Oh, okay. Yeah, this was a bit of a surprise to me, although maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. But we had some indie action. Not me this time, though, I'm afraid. Indiana Jones.
The lesser indie.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm the lesser indie for sure. I'm the minion. But yeah, we had Indiana Jones. What was this? Was this a sequel? Or is this DLC? I can't remember.
DLC.
DLC, yeah.
DLC.
So yeah, I'm gonna say that would have been a bit much already. But yeah, DLC. Did you enjoy the first game, Luke? Did you play it? And are you excited for this?
Yeah, I love the first game. Oh, apart from the boss at the end, I love the first game.
Really?
That actually brought my score down. It was that bad. The boss at the end. But anyway, that's just a slight aside. Yeah, but it's fantastic. Fantastic game.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm all in on this. It'll be great to go back into that game and
Nice.
stare
That's
at
cool.
the marvelous visuals and
Yeah.
put the fedora on and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be great.
Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, it does look cool. I haven't played the original, the actual game yet at all, if I'm honest with
It's
you.
really good. It's really good.
Just can't handle the fact there's another indie there, and it's just too confusing. It does look good. I have to check it out at some point. Scott, bro, did you check out the game? Are you excited for this?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it as well. Similar to Luke, I don't think I feel quite the same way about the ending, maybe as Luke did. I know what he's talking about, but I don't think it kind of
Oh, really?
soured me on the game quite as much as it did Luke. But yeah, I thought it was an excellent game. So getting an announcement for DLC so soon is excellent. Yeah, and I'll definitely be checking this out.
This ending has me intrigued.
You should play it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially for this, divisive ending that I've come to learn about.
It's not the ending.
Oh,
the
okay.
ending's
It's the
good.
boss itself. Yeah,
It's the boss.
Really?
Yeah. So it's the specifically
Is it a Teletubby?
the mechanics around the box. No, the box. Like it's just how
the
that
mechanics,
last
right.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that how it's not even the boss, like who the boss is. It's literally the way they make you fight the ending boss, basically.
I see.
I get it.
Is it like, QTEs or something like that, maybe?
No,
No,
but it's
okay.
awful.
Okay, right.
It's awful. Yeah.
It's all right. You can't talk about it. It makes you too angry, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it either. So,
Okay, no, fair enough.
Just be prepared for it.
Okay, no worries. Cool. And Scott, maybe I can lean on you, my friend, and if you know what one was next on your list by any chance.
So next was actually interesting because it was weird seeing the Game Freak logo in a non-Nintendo show. If I'm honest, so this was, I think it was called Beast of Reincarnation. Which it was it. If man, there was a lot of games shown. I'll give them that at least. Was this? It was kind of like a Souls-like. It maybe looked.
I think
If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was just weird seeing, like I say, Game Freak on an Xbox show.
Right.
more than anything, obviously, because we associate them so much with Pokemon.
Right.
And this was obviously quite a big departure from Pokemon, and I know they've had a couple of other games outside of Pokemon, but this is like I say, quite a big departure from those types of games.
I didn't believe it was Game Freak until I saw the massive frame drop. I was like, well, it definitely must be Game Freak.
Right.
So,
probably lots of pop-in, really low textures.
I mean, fair play. At least it looks like the fidelity's really good.
Yeah.
So they've pushed themselves a bit, but
yeah.
Cool concept, but just I'm really I'm tired of boss when it comes to Souls games now. Like I'm really kind of burnt out by
burnt out on Souls
games.
In general.
Yeah, just doing like Souls-like experiences. I think it's becoming a bit tiresome, to be honest. But
was that a big theme of SGF? Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah, it was.
I just got some highlights, but I did hear a few people say it was really heavy on them. Which
there was Mortal Shell 2 was opened the show.
Wu Chang was there again, and there were others as well.
Yeah, there was a few, wasn't there? Yeah. I played Mortal Shell. I didn't really get on with it, actually. But yes, I know what you mean. They are quite formulaic in a way, aren't they? In a way, it's all right if you use a bit of flavour and that, but Anyway,
I think it's a really tough task for these developers in a world where games like Elden Ring and Dark Souls exist. I think they're always going to be compared to these beloved franchises that I think it's a little bit of a hard sell, but we'll see. I can't remember what the date was on this, to be honest.
Didn't notice actually. I'll come up in a minute.
Be interested.
It says in the year 4026 humanity awaits, so hopefully it's not that year. But yeah, no, we'll have a look at the end. But yeah, it looks quite interesting. But yeah, it sort of they kind of all blur into one after a little bit with these sorts of games, like you say. Maybe there was, I don't know. Well, I think this showcase overall, I don't know, didn't have kind of the most variety like they usually do, I would say. But yeah, we're getting through some of the more diverse ones that we saw as well. But yeah, there's your answers coming 2026 to lots of platforms, including Play Anywhere aspect as well. So next up, what did we have on the scores now? Do you know, Scott, by any chance? Because it's taken ages.
I believe it was the beefy Clockwork Revolution.
Oh god, yeah, it was long as hell. Yeah. But yeah, this was quite an interesting showcase of the game. It's like you don't have to play the game anymore, so it's in the whole game. No, but it looked interesting. Let me pass this one to you. I think you'll be more equipped to maybe talk about this one. Who fancies this one more than who's up for this game?
Do you want to go, Luke? I feel this is maybe going to be up your street.
Yeah. This is one of the highlights of the show.
Yeah.
This one. So for me, it was weird because initially, the first few minutes, I was kind of like, yeah, this all looks quite good, but where's like the cool time stuff that you showed in the last reveal? I was like, have they just dropped this? I was like, surely not. And then right at the end, they were like, no, like all of that's still in there. So so that's really cool, and it's cool to see an Exile have like a big budget and like do like I think this is pretty much their first AAA game, but they're keeping a lot of like creative ideas in it with the the way you can influence time in the game and the way that works and stuff like that. And I thought it looked really, really nice. We don't get many steampunk games, I wouldn't say. Like there's not a load of them. So I love the character creator thing that's on there, like the huge
I really like that
steampunky clock. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite bits actually.
So yeah, I thought it looked really nice. I thought combat looked cool. I thought the weaponry looked really cool. I don't like the character models. I think that's the one area like
the human ones, you mean, or
like I just something about the faces. It looks very like, I don't mean this in a derogatory. It looks like Obsidian, like where their games look incredible outside of like character animation and facial animation. I think this looks better than what Obsidian are doing. I'll say that. I think this goes beyond that, but it's just something that brings the presentation down a little bit. But that's just a nitpick of mine about this kind of stuff. So
I can see where you're coming from with that, actually.
The rest of it looked really good. So yeah, it was definitely a highlight. I think that it looks very good, but still they don't even have a year on it.
Oh, did they? No, really?
Released it, yeah. So crazy, I really thought that we'd have a release date by the end of it, but
especially with the length of it,
it's been so long since it was announced. So and they showed, like I say, like a substantial amount of footage here, which is great. But that's fine. I mean, I'm happy for them just to keep working on it and deliver like a good experience, which I'm sure they will. I thought it looked great.
Cool. Yeah, it's very unique, isn't it? This experience by the look of it. Scott, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good trailer. Obviously, it was quite long, but it was similar to what Luke said. I was a little bit surprised because they showed a decent amount of gameplay. I always think it's risky showing things like dialogue choices and things like that in this type of trailer, but I think they kind of pulled it off here because it was short and snappy. Thought the combat looks good. I'm really interested. I think is this the first game we've had from In Exile since would it be Wasteland 3?
Yes, I think Wasteland 3 was the last one.
Which was like 2019 or something crazy like that, maybe. So the bit that's on screen for me at the moment now I thought really cool, which was like the gun customization.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It had that, and then it kicked straight into the gunplay, which I thought looked really, really good. Which honestly would have been a little bit of a concern of mine, is just how good will that feel, but it looked like it would feel good as well. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I'm assuming it's going to be a 2026 game. But we'll
quite
hopefully.
possibly.
we'll have to see. Yeah, maybe early next year. Maybe they'll have a trailer at the Dev Direct. Maybe early next year, possibly.
Although Phil didn't include it in his list of games, did he? You know, right at the end when he said
yeah.
So
right.
maybe it's not.
But the game that's shown like this can't be 2027.
Yeah, it would be strange, wouldn't it, if it was like multiple years away, having shown like what was essentially a 5-minute gameplay demo.
Yeah, because if they said this was out in October, I would, based on this trailer, I'd be like, that makes sense. This is kind of really get a few months out from launch.
It would.
Maybe they're just cooking it, and they're just like, we don't really want to commit to something until we're absolutely ready. So, but I would be very surprised if this was over a year and a half away.
Yeah.
I always remember, when did they was it 21 or 22 when they revealed this?
I can't remember
because it was in an Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
And I remember
was that the guitar playing sort of one? Was was Clockwork Resolution where they're playing the guitar in the trailer and all that sort of thing?
No, that's South of Midnight.
Oh, South of Midnight, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But so I remember when they revealed it, I remember people saying, oh yeah, this will be out like the year after. And I was like, there's absolutely no chance it will be out the year after, because he didn't look anywhere near ready. Like, it looked like they're up and running in production.
Yeah.
But with this one, I'm like, okay, this really does look ready now. So where is it? It's just strange. Really. But I'd rather them take a long time and deliver like a stellar game than rush it out just because I'm talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's I like all the customization elements to it. It looks very cool, and that plays into the steampunk world in that sense. Shout out to SteamWorld Dig and all those games as well. With a bit of steampunk action. But it looks it looks cool actually. I really like this. It's very unique. It's got some cool concepts, and looks like you can really just customize every element of your gun to get a completely unique aspect to it, like by the look of things. And this definitely something I would check out, and showed really well. Sorry.
I want to go back and rewatch this actually, because it's hard, when you're watching a full showcase and it goes straight into the next bit. Although the next bit might be in when Matt Booty came out.
Yeah, it is.
When it's come from trailer, sometimes it is a little bit difficult to really take in everything that was shown. So this will be one that I definitely go back and watch later, just to see all the things that I inevitably missed. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's nice to see like a unique aesthetic and completely something different, really. And it looks like they're really delivering on something, creative, really. So definitely showed pretty well. But hopefully a release date at some point soon. But like you say, as long as they're taking the care to make it the best it can be, that's the most important thing, as always. But next thing was the Matt Booty little chat. He mentioned a few games, like you said, Luke, didn't he? Was it Phil who did that little recap? Actually, you mentioned
it's Phil at the end.
It was Phil at the end.
Next year.
So we don't need to really talk about what Matt said, do we? I suppose, unless you can lip read.
I wonder from the release date of Clockwork Revolution whether it's maybe just where they fit it, because they've obviously got Outer Worlds maybe October. It seems like Fables next year at some point. Obviously, we've got GTA early next year, so maybe it's just a case of timing. More they
don't Horizon at some point. I don't know when that. Like we didn't get any announcement. I wish we had for Forza Horizon. That's no announcement for that yet, is there? Because
I think that's what Phil Spencer was alluding to.
He was alluding to it.
Yeah, he said that'll be coming, didn't he? And that.
But then that's interesting, right? Because does that mean Playground Games are going to release both Fable and Horizon 6 next year?
Yeah,
which would be maybe pretty
great. Yeah.
I mean, you've got Obsidian releasing 3 games this year, haven't you? So maybe anything's possible.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. But so the next game was actually that game, wasn't it? So it was Grounded 2, wasn't it? Is that right? Yeah, cool. Any of you guys play the first Grounded?
A little bit.
It's survival. I played it, and survival games really on my thing. I kind of liked I like the concept And some of the base building was pretty cool,
Yep.
but going out and having to harvest water, just like, I'm sorry, it's not. I think the one thing I will say on this, it's amazing how much success I think this game's got from such a small team within Obsidian that it's actually got a sequel. I doubt when they started making this game, I think there was only like 10 devs or something within Obsidian making it, that they expected it to kind of take off in the way that it did, where they would get a chance to make a sequel. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's good to see. It's done well and all that. You like the music choice as well, didn't you, Scott?
Oh yeah, this was the Offspring trailer, wasn't it? Yeah, more Offspring and more games and more trailers, please. Thank you very much.
It's a good choice of song as well. I used to play that song in a band back in school. That's crazy. But yeah, good stuff. Shows how old that song is now, really. But yeah, good. Not me. It's not really my thing either, if I'm honest with you. So good to see it's done well, and they're bringing out another one because it was a passion project, wasn't it? That's turned into another game. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, next game definitely actually was one that really caught my eye. And I already knew about it anyway. Again, that's the only bummer about it. Really.
Kronos.
Yeah, definitely really excited for this. Yeah. I think it's up your street as well, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been if it wasn't for Silent Hill 2 remake, but I have renewed faith in Bloober.
The combat.
Never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day.
What a 180 that is.
You don't like their combat usually, do you? I know. I was thinking of that.
I don't like much of what they do usually.
Oh, in general, really? Okay, I thought it was more the combat.
Yeah. I mean, they've never really, until Silent Hill 2, they never really did any combat. The games didn't have combat. So actually, Silent Hill 2, the combat was better than, the combat in the original game was shy, but it was much, much better in Silent Hill 2 remake, and they did really, really well. I mean, this looks great. It looks really good, but it depends on the story. Bloober just are not good at writing stories. Like, they're just poor. So the concept of this, in terms of story, looks fantastic. It's just how they execute it. But everything else I'm really into, and I'm more optimistic for it because they made a fantastic remake of Silent Hill 2. So
yeah, this one's definitely up my street, and I think it looks really cool. There's been there's another announcement. I don't know if you saw, I dropped in our little group, which is worth checking out, which has got a similar sort of vibe by Variable State, but I can't remember the name of it right now, which really helps. But yeah, anyway, there's been a few announcements in this sort of survival horror kind of action, Dead Spacey kind of vibe.
Deepest Fear?
Sorry, say again? Deepest Fear, did you say? Thank you very much, my friend. You know better than I do. I've just been raving about it and I've forgotten it. But yeah, it's looking awesome, that game, Deepest Fear. Check it out, guys. It was on the Future Games show. If you like these sort of atmospheric, sort of like torchlit kind of hallways, all that sort of stuff.
I honestly thought it would be too scary for you, Indy, if I'm being completely
You're joking me. I love that sort of stuff. I just finished Resident Evil. I just don't like vulgarity. That's what it is. Remember? It's a very niche area. Basically, I just don't like what's it called?
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's basically just that game.
Classic.
It's got a baby floating in the air, which is weird. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people like that game, which is one of my only, I don't know, areas where it's a blind spot, I guess. But I love one of my favorite games, like Dead Space. Like I said, I had an amazing time playing Resident Evil 4 remake. That's become like one of my favorite games, actually. That is impeccable, that game, in my opinion. So all those kinds of games I love so much. And yeah, atmosphere, all that sort of thing. But yeah, like you say, Deepest Fear, check that game out as well. Variable State, they're looking for as much support as possible at the moment. They would like to release on more platforms than just Steam. They were saying, please, retweet it, share it out, all that good stuff, because they're only a small team. And they did The Last Stop, that, by the way, I don't know if you remember that game, and also Virginia. So they're the two games they've done before, and this is like a bit of a step up in terms of, it's like a Prey kind of thing, with all the sort of like guns where you can shape the area and stop the water flow and all that kind of thing. check it out. Basically, guys, we're diverging majorly off the topic, but Deepest Fear, just give it a look. They deserve some attention. Okay, so yes, I've totally gone off topic, and but Chronos definitely looks cool. Going back to that, I like the atmosphere once again, and I really hope the combat feels really good. And like Luke says, the story, hope that delivers. But yeah, if it puts you in the moment and you know on the edge of your seat, intense, that's what we like to see from that sort of game. So fingers crossed it will be a good one. But yeah, this is definitely one of my highlights from this show. Although I knew about it before, unfortunately. So, but the problem is when you keep your ear to the ground, you do tend to know about games before, unfortunately. It's sort of double-edged sword in that sense, like we all do. We all try to keep our eye out, don't we, on social media, and sometimes you see games before they're actually revealed on the bigger show, if you know what I mean. But yes, let's get back on track. And VJ says he's very well, Lord of Hollow Knight. I think that's you, my friend. But yeah, did you see the show, VJ? What did you think about it? And what did you think about seeing a little cheeky tease of Silksong on there? Let us know. Yeah, cool. So let's get back on track. What was the next game that we're looking at right now? Scott, do you know what game this was next?
I'm going to assume we can probably skip this as it's Elder Scrolls Online DLC.
Oh, right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Move swiftly on from that,
Swiftly
please.
On. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, this is one of my highlights.
The next one is one interesting. Yeah. I thought you would like this one. Man.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. I think it's the one I'm thinking of just when I saw that little space pod. It was the Don't Nod one, wasn't it? Next.
Yeah, that's right. Although I've got no. Did they pronounce the name of the game?
Let's have a look.
In the trailer?
I
think it's Aphelion, isn't it?
Aphelion, that sounds right.
Okay,
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to be selfless and pass this straight to Luke because I reckon you might fancy this one.
Yeah, give me Returnal vibes.
Oh, cool.
In the start. Yeah, so I was like, oh, it's very Returnal coded. And then they showed the gameplay, and it's obviously not a bullet hell roguelike, but
different. Yeah.
It looks really, really cool. I think it's first time Don't Nod have done like a space sci-fi game, basically. So it looks very narrative heavy, as you'd expect. Don't Nod.
Yes.
So, and I think it's I think they said it was like being made in collaboration with the ESA as well, so the European Space Agency.
That is cool.
Which is weird, but cool. So I think it looks.
I guess they mean they've just been making sure all like details are sort of paid attention to.
Yeah,
detail.
probably. Yeah, and I think the characters, they're like part of the ESA, so they are actually ESA astronauts.
Cool.
But obviously, all the missions are fictitious, nice. Or maybe not if you've got your tinfoil hat on. It looks cool. Cool.
Nice, man. Yeah, I see actually what you mean with the opening sequence bit when it's close in on the face. Reminds me of
crashing onto an alien planet.
Yeah, exactly. It's that opening scene I see so many times when I play that game. Returnal's a great game, but I see where you're coming from with that, but it does really give me the vibes of the Jusant in there. Obviously, that's their game as well. So in terms of the sort of exploration aspects, but they're going to be, no doubt delivering on the story, which will be awesome. And like the sort of vistas sort of Jusant as well. This game I think is going to be a real good one, and I like the story of this. It seems really intriguing. That you're sort of marooned. I love that in general. I'm a big fan of being marooned on a planet for some reason. Not myself, but those kinds of stories. I love the film, as I've said many times, Moon. It's a really good film. Check it out. It's just simply called Moon, and it's got Sam Rockwell in it, I think it is. That's a really interesting psychological film if you haven't checked it out. Very good film. But that film kind of vibe in games is great to me. This has a bit of a different aesthetic, but I like the sort of, that sort of discovery aspect, and it just looks really interesting, this one, and the visual aspect is superb as well. And this one of my definitely one of my most excited reveals, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I love this one. How about you, Scott? What did you think?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better than you guys. I think this looks great. I agree with the Jusant vibes as well, and I really enjoyed that game.
Cool.
So really excited. Was there a date on this? I didn't write down a date or anything on this. I
I'm
can't
not
remember.
sure.
Was it this year?
It's next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
A lot of them for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2026 is going to be a big year. Apparently.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I thought it looked great. Really
Cool.
thought it looked great.
Nice, buddy. That's awesome. Yeah, they're a great developer, actually. And yeah, just awaiting that release date to pop up on the screen. You said 2036 though for sure anyway, didn't you?
Yep.
I think fantastic.
26.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. That sounds like that's a all-round thumbs up from us on that one. What did you think in the chat, guys, of Aphelion? That's a really cool game and one of my top picks for sure. Okay, so next game gonna be, we got a little end of thing. That was quite cool actually. The end of the trailer was a little bit of intrigue there. I like when they do that. Plants a little seed of what the hell is going on. But yeah, in collaboration with ESA, as you said, Luke. Next game on the list, Scott, do you know that by any chance?
Yes, I think this was, if I've written down correctly, there are no ghosts at the Grand, which when it first started I thought, is this like a Blueprints clone? Just because of the way it was kind of set up. So it was the where you kind of rebuild the hotel and then you have to rebuild the town.
That's it. Yeah, this one was interesting because, like you said, when it started, I was like, "This is House Flipper." You know what I mean? I was just like, basically, I was that kind of game, and then it seemed to develop into something like quite interesting actually as it went on. I felt the trailer got better and better as it went towards the end, and it seemed like by the end it was like this Lovecraftian sort of interesting story and more fleshed out game than I thought. I thought it was just going to be like, you know, like I say, House Flipper, you rebuild the hotel and that's it. But from what I can tell, there's more going on. Did you get that same vibe, or am I going mad on that?
I really didn't vibe with this trailer.
Oh, really?
It did absolutely nothing for me. This.
I would have said that over for the first couple of minutes, but maybe you just turned off. I don't know.
I think I tuned out after 40 seconds, so that's probably why. Maybe I'll look at it again, but yeah, it did nothing.
Yeah, so because like I said, as it went on, it seemed like there was more going on. It like almost like Call of the Sea kind of aspect coming into play. Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then like. Seemed more interesting with that, as I do really love Lovecraft. love Lovecraft stuff. So I think I might be over egging that, but it's
the second half of the trailer I'm watching on the stream now, I genuinely don't think I can remember that bit at all, but I think it was maybe I kind of tuned out from the first half. Like I said, I wasn't really gelling with it at all, I'm afraid.
That's all right, no worries at all. Like, I think the second half definitely was the half that got me, and towards the end, you've got like these, you know, sea tentacles and all that coming out of the thing. I thought it's quite interesting. And you got the talking cat and all that kind of thing. I thought it was quite quirky and quite interesting. And like I say, I do like a bit of Lovecraft. So, I know what you mean by the first half. I literally was thinking, okay, this is not a game for me, but. By the end of it, it had gone on my little notepad of games I quite enjoyed.
Is it on the spreadsheet?
It's on my spreadsheet.
That's the question. It's on the spreadsheet.
It's on my Word document actually this time. But yeah, it's on there anyway. Yeah, so you guys weren't gelling with it though. So overall, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Not for me, I'm afraid.
No worries. Just heard a noise. Don't know why. Just heard a noise. Did someone subscribe? If someone just subscribed, thank you very much. Did you hear that noise? Maybe you don't hear that noise on your end. But anyway, if you did, thank you very much, guys, for subscribing, whoever that was. And yeah, so next on the list, I think you're probably going to say you want to just skip past. Is that right? Or...
Oh, yeah. Let's just skip past this.
Okay. No
Yeah.
worries at all. Let's keep this flowing. What was next after that line? That's the question.
I think it was the South Korean game.
Yeah.
Which actually looks quite cool, I thought.
Yeah,
cool.
One of my highlights.
Nice. Take it away, guys. Tell me.
Is it Mudang? I think it was called. Yeah.
The first thing I saw on Twitter after this was a picture of the hippo. When I was
Yeah.
wondering how do you pronounce
Yes.
that, I was like,
Yeah.
"Dang."
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, but it was the like third person action, like very cinematic, very high fidelity, something a bit different, I guess, like in terms of setup and setting, and obviously the developer South Korean. So I really like the look of this. I just thought it looked very interesting.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the beginning, I could have sworn it was Ubisoft, because it really
Yeah.
gave me Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, and Watch
Yeah,
Dogs
yeah, yeah.
vibes. But yeah, this genuinely was one of my highlights. It looks great. So want to keep it. I'm assuming this is kind of the announcement trailer for it.
Yeah, it
I
is,
don't know if it is. Yeah. It had. I think there's a couple of scenes there where it looks like very kind of the Ghost Recon from the,
I was just
the
gonna
360 launch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was
I
at
can't remember which
first.
one,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was hoping
Really
it was
looked
New
like
Ghost
that.
Recon, actually, like the better
Yeah.
Ghost Recon from the back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's a couple of bits that kind of looked a bit Splinter Cell-y, and then like I said, I got a little bit of Watch Dogs vibes as well. But I thought this looked really, really cool.
Yeah,
so definitely one that on my radar after today.
Totally forgotten about this one. I was just trying to remember it as you were talking about it. Yeah, and yeah, it looks really good actually. I'd love to see a New Ghost Recon as well. Not the new style ones, but basically like GTA essentially. Like just run around on a map. Like the old style, you know, like Advanced Warfighter and all that stuff. I think it was called or something.
Yeah.
They were amazing. But yeah, the outfits is pretty cool, and in this, like, I think they made me think of that, and that sort of ghost sort of style, you know, you got stealth attacks and stuff. I think that's what made me think of it. This game looks very cool actually, and I'm well with you on that one, guys. I just want to say a massive thank you to Paul for joining us. It's so awesome to see you in, buddy. It's been such a long time, and it's great to see you back in, my friend. So thank you very much for coming by. It means a lot to see you, buddy. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next one is definitely a big one. One we've been waiting for. This is, I think this game I kind of was expecting a trailer. I wasn't thinking about it like expecting it to show up today or anything, but when I played the original game, I was thinking, yeah, this is worthy of a trailer, and I think it would make sense to have a trailer, a sequel, sorry. It's worthy of a sequel, and it would make sense to have like a saga of this game, like, because it is a bit of a Star Wars style experience, and I think, it's got a cinematic feel with the music and grandness of it on the scale. But yes, basically what I'm harping on about is Planet of Lana 2, guys. So that was revealed today. I was really excited for it. As I say, it looks amazing. I mean, the first game looked amazing anyway, but yeah, I love the new elements they've added, which is like the underwater stuff. That looks super cool, and definitely some interesting, intriguing elements going on in the trailer, making me wonder where the story's going to go, because there's some cool aspects to that, I think, which will be interesting. I wonder if they're going to add anything to the gameplay, or if it's just going to stick to the stealth and the puzzling, that kind of thing, or if they'll be adding anything else. But either way, wowzers, is such a beautiful looking game. Is it just to like take in, really? I love the style they've got. Anyway, sorry, just gazing over it. Looks amazing. Definitely one of my highlights of the whole showcase season, actually, alongside of a few really good ones. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think about this one. Scott, what did you think about seeing Planet of Lana come back?
I was massively surprised, Indy, if I'm honest.
Oh, cool.
I thought when it first came up, I knew what it was. I thought, it must be DLC, because I thought it was a little bit too soon for a sequel. Okay. When was the original? Was it last year or the year before? Because in my mind, it wasn't that long ago.
Definitely a year before, at least.
Okay.
It was not last year. It would have been 2023, I think, maybe.
23, yeah. Fair enough, I guess. And this was 2026 as well. But yeah, this was a highlight for me as well. I loved the original game, and this seems to be more of that. And like you mentioned, they've expanded on it a little bit with things like the underwater section, which I'm sure will kind of, at the very least, add some variety to the traversal and the types of puzzles that they can do in the game compared to the first. So yeah, really, really excited for this.
Awesome, buddy. Yeah, it's 2023 in May. It came out, the first one.
Wow, was it that long ago?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. What is time?
What is time, exactly. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm glad you liked what you saw on that, my friend. So, Luke, what did you think about seeing Planet of Lana return?
Yeah, I was surprised as well. I actually didn't finish the first game. I played a bit of it. I just never. I think I got distracted by something else.
Right.
Came back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised to see it. But it's great that it's being made, and I thought that this trailer looked really good. So,
yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, so beautiful. the art is just an animation.
Yeah, the art style's incredible.
Yes, isn't it? Yeah, and just the music and everything, it all comes together really well. Recommend finishing it off. First one is it will set up this one quite nicely because it is quite a short game anyway, and it's going to set yourself up quite nicely in terms of the story for this one. Great stuff. I'm just seeing a few comments in the chat. Actually, we've got Mr. VJ saying his highlights. We've got Silksong, Clockwork Revolution, Mudang, Outer Worlds 2, and that is Persona 4. What's the R stand for? I can't remember. Revival.
Bible, yeah.
Righty ho, there we go. Yeah, so thank you very much for giving us your highlights there, VJ. I know you're excited for Silksong, so one day we will do that podcast that you've held me to, where we just ooze our sort of excitement, and it will all come out, and it all. That sounds disgusting. What have I said? Let's move on from that. One day it will be time for Silksong is what I'm trying to say. And we'll have an exciting moment. But yes, let's see if there's any other chat comments quickly, guys. Meisuho saying this looks good. Paul saying it makes him want to play the first again. Awesome, buddy. That's fantastic. And any other chat comments, guys, that I've missed? Let us know if you see any, if you wouldn't mind. Just keep an eye on that, and then we can keep everyone engaged, if that's all right. So yeah, let's keep it moving though. So next, we have.
We can move on. We can move on, Indy. Yeah.
It's Fallout. We can move on.
Fallout, is it? Oh god.
Yeah.
You don't want to do fishing, no?
You know what? There's a couple coming out. We could just.
There's two, is there?
If it was up to me, we'd skip.
Yeah.
But,
okay. What was the other one?
I'm happy to skip straight to Fate's End because we had Fallout 76, then the solo leveling anime game, and then Animal, which was probably the lowest point of the.
Did you want to skip Tony Hawk? Yeah. Tony Hawk. Oh, hang on. It is a good one for us. I think you want to talk about this one, don't you, Scott? So actually, I was sort of like trying to. Oops, just hit my PC. Trying to like do a million things
Wasn't
again.
That bad, the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like do better, like smash the PC. Yeah. Next up, it was Thunder Lotus's game, who made Spiritfarer. If I'm saying that right, I think it is correct that is the next one. Cool, yeah. So this one, I mean, Thunder Lotus always do interesting concepts and are not afraid of, like they tackled the concept of death basically in Spiritfarer very gracefully. But yeah, then it looks like they're going to be doing something interesting again with this one. It was quite a unique trailer, which was unique. Like I say, it's unique. It was very interesting. It's very conceptually engaging as well. But yeah, it made me want to just know more about it, and I just love the way they make games, really. How did you feel about it, Scott? I know you were quite keen on this particular one, but what was your thoughts?
Yeah, it's funny because I just started Spiritfarer for the first time last week.
Oh, cool!
I picked it up on the Steam Deck.
Nice.
I thought, that's a game, and I've only played a very short amount at the beginning, but I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. So
fantastic.
Seeing their next game. I guess they've got what was the other game? 33 Immortals. Was that them?
Oh yeah, of course it was.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's quite quick off the back of that.
Busy.
Yeah.
I just thought the combat looked really interesting because it looks like it's a mixture of like real time 2D combat plus dialogue plus was it like a card system?
Yeah, there's cards.
Was in there as well.
Yeah.
So I just thought the combat looked quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely, because you like your turn-based stuff, don't you? And card deck building stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's the card stuff that really intrigued me first. But yeah, it looks like it's got a really interesting take on the combat. So
yeah, definitely. No, it looks interesting for sure. How about yourself, Luke? What did you think?
Yeah, I thought this looked cool. Yeah, I don't have much else to add, but I'm definitely interested in it.
Awesome. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I kind of want to know more about it. It's interesting for me, like, because the direction they're going in, it's a bit like that Worldless, isn't it, in the way it sort of scares me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it reminds me of that.
I get that vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of that a little bit. And I did I played that and it felt okay, actually. I don't usually play like turn-based and those sorts of games. I don't really gel with them as well, but I always try and make exceptions if it's got some interesting stuff going on and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's they're a great developer and they always tackle interesting themes for sure. So I would be very open to learning more about this one for sure. And yeah, looks really good. Really nice art style as always with Thunder Lotus.
Yeah.
Cool, fantastic. And Paul's saying, wish they'd update 33 Immortals. Is it in early access at the moment? I think 33 Immortals, I think it might be. Yeah. Hopefully they will.
I've played a little bit of it. I was actually really excited for it, but it didn't quite grab me in the way that I expected, if I'm honest.
Oh, so really?
I didn't play too much.
How's the concept of, is you literally playing with 33 people if they were there, basically? Is that the deal?
Yeah, kind of. So it's interesting. You can play with 33, 22, or 11, if I remember correctly. And then essentially you're kind of all on one map, but then you'll kind of go into little dungeons, but that'll be limited to like 6 people or something. And then you've kind of got to conquer different parts of the map before you can get the boss. I never actually got to a boss in any of the runs that I tried because we kept failing. So maybe it was that. So it's an interesting concept, but I just don't think the combat grabbed me in the way that I kind of expected.
Oh, the combat was... I was wondering if it was the whole concept, which might be a bit tricky to...
No, the concept, I really like the concept. It was,
so they pulled it off kind of thing. It works in the sense of the multiplayer element is working okay, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Fantastic. Well, yeah, let's keep it flowing. I know if Stubbs is in the chat still, he's going to be wanting to talk about this one, I'm sure. But although it's not a new game, it is a is it a remake of what they're calling this, of the original?
It's sort of like a
remaster, isn't it?
Remaster, is it? Yeah.
A remaster of a remaster.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that they've done that, isn't it? But
I don't think it's necessarily weird. I think they've done it because it brings Gears of War to PlayStation. Which is, and we've obviously got Gears of War E-Day, which just sound like it's going to be next year. So I think it's a way to bring the franchise to people who've never really played it before, or people who may not have played it ahead of the big game next year.
Yeah, cool. So it's basically just that. Yeah, I see what you mean. And then they can go from there. From that point, set the position from there to move forward from. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously, is it something you'd go back to play this one, or is it you just gonna? Is it not really for you?
I'll probably run for it again.
Yeah.
When it comes out, it's not one I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait for that. But I've played Gears so many times over the years.
Yeah, exactly.
But and this isn't like a big visual remake. It's just kind of a touch up of the original remaster. So it'll look pretty nice, but it will be nice to play this as well just before E-Day, because obviously that serves as a prequel. So to the extent anybody needs memories refreshed,
exactly.
It'll be there not long before E-Day then releases. So
and that was
I'll go back to it.
August this year as well. So
not far. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this. Actually, I'll play probably co-op with a friend.
Oh, it's got co-op, is it on that?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I'm sure they mentioned it has. I'm not one to play the Gears multiplayer these days.
Yeah.
I did back in the day when it first came out, but yeah, I'll definitely replay the campaign for this. And as Luke
Nice.
mentioned, it'd be really nice to kind of revisit that ahead of E-Day coming out next year, which I'm
Yeah.
really excited for.
It's quite
Actually,
it's quite a good game to play in co-op. Actually, the older Gears, I think. Was the original Gears not co-op, and then does it brought in Gears 2 that originally, or was that the original one actually had co-op? I can't remember now. Do you remember?
I'm sure it has.
It did have
Multiplayer was
an
obviously a big aspect of Gears.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I would have assumed so.
Yeah, cool. I remember playing Gears 2 in co-op, that's all. But yeah, it's probably on the original as well. But yeah, cool. It's a good fun romp, isn't it? Out of the old Gears. It's just like that bombastic sort of fun shooter, isn't it? And yeah, good time to run through again. If you fancy it, we could do a little bit of co-op sometime. We'll see. Bit of anti indie day sort of thing. Just AAA it up. But yeah, good stuff. It's good to see. I mean, it's funny one to see. It is the way it is now, but it's seeing PS5 on the end of that trailer. It's quite funny, isn't it? It's the new Xbox. It's the new approach. But yeah, I wonder if that makes a few people sour. But anyways, let's move forward. And the next trailer was one I can't remember. Persona.
It was, the Persona 4.
Yes, which I've just accidentally skipped because it was really short, actually, I think. Any interest for Persona, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for this. I played Persona 3 Reload, which was the remake of Persona 3. I played Persona 5. I played Metaphor Refantasio from these guys.
Cool.
So this is a bit of a gap. So really looking forward to this. Unfortunately, this trailer was just a nothing trailer. It was about 4 seconds long. It was the most short and sweet trailer ever. So this has been heavily rumored for such a long time now. I think pretty much since they've released Golden. On Steam, which was kind of like because if I remember correctly, Persona 4 was on the PSP originally,
right.
Maybe if I'm not mistaken. And then Golden kind of brought it to PC and things like that. Yeah, but there was no release date. I think it's come to Game Pass, but yeah, no release date, which is a bit of a shame. And because they showed so little of it, gives me the sense that it might be a little while out.
Yeah, that's a very short trailer, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a very short clip of the guy running in the street, and
yes.
that was it.
It was almost like nondescript, wasn't it? Basically, just nothing happened.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just might as well
it's
just put the logo
up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was no better than the Metroid 4, Metroid Prime 4 really reveal back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, and they did put. I think Atlas posted something maybe on Twitter afterwards. I've briefly seen it, and I think they kind of alluded to Persona 6, which has been rumored for a while. But yeah, so looking forward to it. But it's going to be next year, the earliest. I would assume at this point.
Cool. Are you into the Persona games, Luke?
Yeah, I'll play this probably when it comes out.
Cool. Sounds good. Mr. VJ, I missed your humour, sir. Find you again. Thank you. Very kind, sir. And you spelt it in the American way, which is disappointing. Put the U in there and you'll be English again, Vijay. I know you really truly are. Anyways, let's move on to the next game. Okay, so what do we have after this? Oh yeah, Sea of Thieves. This was a terrible decision. I can we not just have one showcase when there's no Sea of Thieves one day?
Nah, the thing is, right, I really like Sea of Thieves. It's really, really popular. Obviously, it's come to PlayStation recently, so it's going to be there as long as it's popular. I get it. But going back to our original comments about the showcase, I thought this was a really weak ending to the show. Like the final few trailers. Like, if you look, we got Gears of War, Persona 3, Sea of Thieves, and we'll obviously talk about the rest of them. I just thought it was like a really kind of, towards the end of the show, you really expect these publishers or whatever to kind of really bring their big guns out, and they didn't here, in my opinion. And this should have been much earlier in the show. Normally this is kind of reserved for slap bang in the middle. But it was kind of brought in towards the end. And yeah, I've not played Sea of Thieves in a while, but I like it. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it comes along every year, and I kind of tune out every year these days.
Yep. Move on. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like, I don't know. They need to. I don't know. Just do they even need it in a showcase? In my opinion,
I'm surprised they didn't announce it for the Switch or something. Maybe as part of this. I don't think they've announced it for Switch yet, or at least Switch 2. I'm assuming Sea of Thieves will come to Switch 2 at some point, because it seems to have been pretty successful on PlayStation. But
yeah, cool.
That this wouldn't be the place for that, I guess.
Guess not. But yeah, it's not for me, I'm afraid. Sea of Thieves. I know you like your multiplayer, but yeah, let's move on to the next one. I don't know if this will be for you either. It is becoming quite clear that this was a little bit of a disappointing show as we go through it. But
is this Invincible of a fight?
Yeah. I mean, I was actually watching LOD Perspectives reaction, and they were like, "Oh my god, yeah!" And like Lou Venomous, he's really into like comic book stuff, and he was like loving it, and then he was like, oh no, is it a fighting game? And I was thinking the same, actually. Basically, because it looked like it was going to be a proper fleshed out game, and then it was a fighting game, which I do like fighting games. But yeah, how did you feel?
I mean, I don't like, it's interesting actually, this whole period with fighting games, the last few shows, because I'm generally not a fighting game fan. There's not really much fighting games can do to interest me. I do like Invincible a lot, at the show at least. But I don't know. I thought this looked weaker coming off the back of the Marvel Sony the Arc Systems fighting really game, good. which looks like, and I'm not into fighting games, but I thought that looked incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
And this just didn't really, like, it was in a bad spot to come after that, because that really got people's hype up for fighting games and stuff. So
definitely,
like, it just didn't really do much for me. This, as a result, I can only be interested in like maximum one fighting game at a time.
Oh really?
I'm just not a big fan. So
I do love a fighting game myself. I do. And even I don't know. The flow of the fighting is just literally them bouncing in the air on the same spot, or just standing there taking beats, and like I don't really get a feel for like any sort of interesting maneuvers or anything.
I think it's difficult as well, because like, if you're not into Invincible, this probably isn't going to interest you at all.
Okay, fair enough.
And even if you are, like, it's not as if like the show or the graphic novels have so many characters that the roster could be like super interesting. Like, if you have a Marvel fighter or a Capcom fighter or your Mortal Kombat or whatever, or Tekken, like, there are so many recognizable characters, like a kind of plethora of people you can put into the game that would be interesting, and I just don't feel like that like Invincible has that. So it's more of a I think a fighting game for the fans rather than trying to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think it's particularly hype worthy for me anyway.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking, this might be like Injustice or something like that sort of style, but then I don't know, it just didn't feel, it didn't look great in the fighting, in my opinion. I mean, it's like you say, if you're a fan of it, then maybe, but not really just as a fighting game thing. Like you say, I think you'd have to be engaged in that universe. But yeah, how about yourself, Scott?
Yeah, I'm not a big fighting game myself. So I haven't seen the TV show or seen any of the comics to do with this. So it didn't really do anything for me. The one thing that I think stood out, and I don't know if you guys picked on this, is the environments. It didn't seem like there was any sort of link between the fighting and the environment they were in, and that really stood out, because I thought the opening cinematic was actually good.
It's really good. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting a fighting game off the back of it, but a big part of that was he was slamming him into the building, and the building was getting destroyed as he did it. And then the bit that stands out, if you go back, is this bit that I'm watching now, where they're on the moon.
There's no ground.
And it's just like it just looks like a 2D picture. In the background, and they're just fighting in front of it.
It's like one of those old movies where they got superimposed background. Where they're driving along, like James Bond, and is like in the car, and like someone's put a background there. I forgot what they rear projection. That's what they call it.
It's unfortunately not for me.
No,
But I'm not a big
weird,
fighting game person anyway. So.
Yeah, I definitely. That's a good point. It's definitely detached. No, yeah. I mean, I really love fighting games myself, but not really gelling with that one again. I keep saying gelling today, but that's the word of the day. Cool. And yeah, so next up we had was it Final Fantasy? We have.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this is. I don't know how people are going to react to this, but I think Xbox think this was a much bigger announcement, in my opinion, than it actually was. Because they've saved it for the very end of the show. But they only announced Final Fantasy Remake. They didn't announce Rebirth, so they're still a game behind. Obviously, we now know that the whole trilogy will come to Xbox at some point, but when? And I think it's just too late. And and I've played these games now, so I'm there's nothing really to get excited about here. So I do think it's a big deal that they're finally getting them, but I think because it's been so long, I think it's in my opinion, it's a little bit. So what? If they had announced that Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth were coming this year, and I mean, Sony will have the exclusivity deal, but let's imagine that they announced that the third game would come day one. That would be humongous. Yeah. But this is just like, well, when are we even going to get Rebirth? Never mind the third game. So yeah, this unfortunately, Although what I will say is some of the scenes, particularly in the 16 trailer, just reminded me of just some of the unbelievable highs of that game that I absolutely love. So it has some really great moments in that game. It did remind us of them.
Nice. Anything to add on that one, Luke?
It'll be good for the 7 people that haven't played these games yet. I think they're because I mean, I just I think the audience of core people waiting, who only play on Xbox, waiting for these Final Fantasy games that haven't played them it's got to be pretty small relative to the player base of the the potential player base of those games now. So, but good. For those people, because they finally do get to buy it and play it on Xbox, so that's good. But
but you make a really good point though, Luke, which is and this has always been my fear with these types of deals, I guess, are the way these games are kind of released on different platforms, which is I don't think it'll sell particularly well.
Because it's been so long.
And then it's like, okay, well then does that reduce the potential that Final Fantasy 17, for example, comes to Xbox? Like Square Enix really need to start getting these games multi-platform day one. I think 16 came maybe 6 months to PC afterwards, which isn't too long. But I only finished Rebirth earlier this year, and I'm kind of dreading the fact that I'm going to have to wait because I don't have a PS5. And I don't want to buy a PS5 just for the third game. So am I going to have to wait until the third game releases on PC? And because it's such a story-focused game, that's going to be a rough, really, really rough wait. So yeah, I hope Square Enix get to a point where more of their games are multi-platform day one. Obviously, we had Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the remake's going to be on all platforms. They've now got Final Fantasy 7 on every platform now as well. So yeah, hopefully it's a sign of things to come, but hopefully they're not too discouraged by maybe lower sales of this game on Xbox because it is so bloody late. Hopefully their expectations are in check, which is probably not the case for Square Enix if we're honest.
Yes, definitely. I've got nothing to add on that one because they're so late to the game, like you say. You said that very well. So I'm going to keep it moving on Final Fantasy to, what was it next?
It was Double Fine's game.
Oh, was it? Because I actually stepped out of the room at this point to make a burger. So,
this is actually one of my highlights of the show.
This will be my fresh reaction now. So you go for it. I
think you'll like this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This is just weird in all the best kind of ways. You're playing essentially as a lighthouse and a bird.
Nice.
So
sounds good.
Yeah, it's not. It's not Double Fine's next big game. It's like a smaller project for them. But it looks weird in all the cool ways that Double Fine games are weird. And just super creative, very like Coraline-y, sort of environments and characterization and stuff. I think they said there's no dialogue in this game.
Oh,
okay. It's all no dialogue at all.
Cool.
And nice. It just looks really cool. It was one of the highlights of the show for me.
Definitely. Yeah, I see what. Yeah, you're right about me liking it. You know me well, my friend. Oh, it's really beautiful, actually, isn't it? Really nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Did this year as well?
Oh, this year, nice. Did they talk about the who is making it in? Is it a small subset of their team, or what did they talk about that? As you say.
Yeah. They didn't talk about the show, but I read afterwards. It's Lee Petty who's creative. Oh, yeah. So it's not Tim Schafer that's doing it.
Right.
But Lee Petty was the art director, and then of Brutal Legend and stuff. And then he also did the lead on. Do you remember Rad?
Yeah, I loved Rad. Yeah, that was really cool art style as well.
Yeah, so
like really 80s vibe, didn't it, on that game?
Yeah. So he's creative on this, and he was creative on that. So
cool. That's why I know his name, because I remember him. Because I put that in one of my videos, Rad, ages ago.
Yeah.
In one of the, I think it was in one of these the Indie Worlds, or it wasn't even called that back then. It's such a long time ago. I think they changed the name. But anyway, yeah, cool. It looks really good, actually. I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah, October 17th it's out.
Oh wow, nice. That's great. And that's probably a Game Pass day one, isn't it? I'm guessing.
Yeah, big Game Pass day one.
Yeah, awesome. What did you think of this one, Scott? I love this cave bit. This is amazing. Oh god, I love that.
Yeah.
That cave bit is that's incredible. Right,
yeah,
sorry,
I think Luke said it the best. To be honest, I think it looks great in all the weird ways that it could have. As soon as we knew it was Double Fine, I think that just comes with an expectation that it's going to be good. But yeah, it looks really interesting, really weird. Obviously coming very soon. I think this has been rumored for a while. I can't remember if the rumors had any interest in or had any idea that it was going to be this game, but it was rumored that it might have been shadow dropped in the developer direct earlier this year. The next game from Double Fine. So it's good to see it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're really interested to play it. Actually, art style's great.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense now where you added that excellent information, Luke, about it being like the Lee Petty, the guy that made Rad, because the color, Rad had that sort of like
it's quite psychedelic, weird,
and the color palette of it's really like rich, isn't it? Sort of like that sort of, I don't know how to explain, but it's got that rich color palette which just really pops, and that definitely had that vibe in that game. But it's a little gem, Rad, actually. If you feel like checking that out, ever go and have a little look. You can get it for nothing, basically. Although they might even have it in Game Pass nowadays with Double Fine being linked up. But yeah, this looks really cool, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the look of it, quirkiness. The art is just beautiful. Even you put a screenshot of it, just be beautiful, wouldn't it? It's that kind of look. But yeah,
and this should have ended the show, because the game that did end the show was probably the most down I've ever felt about a show ending ever. Actually,
is that the next one?
Yeah. I was really surprised when Phil Spencer came out and said, this is the last thing, because it had only been maybe an hour and 10 minutes, maybe a little less. And I did have a really big feeling of just like, oh, is that it? Like, unless they ended with Halo or something like that, then would have brought me up. But when he said that, I was like, oh, that was short compared to usual.
It was funny as well.
Why am I struggling to remember what it was?
We'll get to it.
It's about to appear anyway. So, but it's funny that just quickly on that keeper, like. Sorry to go back to Rad again, but just in Rad, it's like a desolate world, and the world, when you sort of cleanse it, the stuff grows onto the environment, which is funny. Which I think they might have even like brought that into Keeper, because that bit at the end really has that sort of same thing. Obviously, it's a much more 3D environment in this one, but anyway, I'm liking Keeper, guys. You knew me. Good stuff.
It looks great.
Cool. So moving back to where you were. Sorry.
I was
Sorry.
going to say just very quickly on that point. There is an article on Xbox Wire where it does say, and I quote, though eagle-eyed fans know there are elements and themes that connect each of these games together, and perhaps will spot some in Keeper too. So it does sound like there's going to be elements from those games that do
cool.
find their way into this one.
Thanks for making me sound half decent. Like, I might know one or two things I'm talking about for once in a while, because otherwise I'm just a rambling mess most of the time. Appreciate you, but yeah, no. So the final thing you weren't impressed by, guys, and
it's funny because the initial 2 minutes, the initial minute of this trailer, I was like very intrigued by it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Scott, but the the bit where he taps on the glass and it breaks. I was like, is this Prey? I was like,
yeah.
I was like, is this Prey 2? I was like, that would be a great ending to the show. Like the Prey coming back, and then it was just Black Ops 7.
Oh, of course it was. I completely forgot. Yeah.
So it was such a come down, for me, and I just can't believe. Like, everybody expected, I think, that a Call of Duty game would be announced here, right? Because it just makes sense that they would announce like big Call of Duty projects at these showcases. Not that they need to, but they've got previous with it now. Now that they have ABK. And I have no issue with Call of Duty being at these showcases, but the people who tune into these showcases tend to be, I would say overwhelmingly will be hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
The people really on the pulse of like everything that Xbox are doing, and that, will play lots of different things and buy different things. And so ending a show with you're like one big final thing with Call of Duty, which is just such a ubiquitous franchise. I mean, you might as well end it with like Minecraft or something. Like it's just a pointless thing to end these shows with. It doesn't get the people who are watching the show excited, and if anything, it's just like a real come down. So that's how I felt, and it just sort of typified the kind of ness of a lot of this show. Just like I don't understand. Like I'm really struggling to like parse how Phil and the rest of the team thought they should end the show with the game. You know what I mean? Like Phil, like I just didn't expect them to do that.
No, I think this probably would have been better as maybe an opener instead of the little Outer Worlds.
Yeah,
I think the difficulty there though is as much as I think we liked Keeper, it was Keeper, wasn't it? I think that was
that's right. Yeah,
the Double Fine game. Yeah. I don't think that would have been the right game to end the showcase on.
No, I agree.
In the grand scheme of things either. So I think there would have been a massive element of disappointment if they had ended on that. But I think that just shows that they didn't have an awful lot to show. Like, say, if they had opened with this and then closed with, like, say, a Halo or something like that, and I know, if it's not ready, it's not ready, so fair enough. Then it would have been much different. But I actually thought the trailer was really interesting.
Yeah.
When I was watching, I was like, what is this? The scene that I'm not going to. I was like, it looks like Inception.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought.
And then when it said Call of Duty, I just let out the biggest audible sigh, and I was like, really?
Me too.
And I really enjoyed Black Ops 6's campaign, and I'll play the campaign of this, providing it goes to Game Pass. But like, I agree with Luke. It was just like, meh. Oh, okay, and then it ended, and
that's the biggest. Almost, it's like that's the kick in the teeth. Is it was such a lovely trailer up to that point, and then it was like, what? And then it's like almost like they're just, putting on something beautiful, conceptually interesting, which is going to probably have nothing to do with the game in the end. It's just going to be the usual old crap. Sorry to say, what I mean. It's just going to be the usual Call of Duty, probably, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the COD campaigns can be interesting. Like, I enjoy Black Ops 6.
Yeah,
and I'm sure this will be a decent, single player campaign for a first person game. But yeah, when I don't know, Luke, did you have any thoughts of like Quantum Break or and you
Yeah,
know
Yeah, I
definitely.
just thought it
Control,
looked
you know,
very
just
interesting, and I was like, oh,
something
this,
like that?
yeah, like maybe
Yeah,
it's a new IP, new
yeah,
studios. Like this looks
Yeah.
really cool, really different. High concept stuff, and then it just turns out to be Call of Duty, and it's just like, well, that's just not interesting, then, is it? So, as
yeah.
you say, like I'm sure the campaign, if it's like Black Ops 6, it'll probably be fun, and Call of Duty campaigns can be very good, actually.
Yeah.
But you just don't get excited. Like nobody gets excited about it. It's not an exciting thing to announce. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, but a bit of a sour note
Yeah,
to
to end
end
the show
on
on. Yeah.
in a way. So
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, really. I don't know. They didn't need it. Like you say, it's not
yeah,
the.
I think it's just a case of they just didn't have a lot. But I guess this will happen because they've got set this expectation where they're going to have this showcase every June. And I think if you look at someone like PlayStation, they've kind of got away from that. They haven't had a PlayStation showcase in what, like 3 years. It'll probably be by the time the next one comes. But Xbox are really keen to have this big showcase every single June. But obviously not every single June they're going to have something big to show, or maybe they should. To be fair, because they've got that many bloody studios now, maybe they should have the maybe they should have something to show. But we're going to have down years, and unfortunately, this is just one of those down years. They needed at least one more big thing at the end, but I don't think that would have made it better. But I do think overall showcase they probably needed a little bit more throughout, as well.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Yeah, it was weird. It's really weird, and I don't know. It's almost leading us on to think it was something else. I feel like it's quite a cool concept in the trailer. It's like I definitely got the vibe actually at one point of thinking it was Remedy's. Gosh, I forgot the name of it now. Oh, you just said the name of it.
Quantum Break.
Thank you very much, Quantum Break. Yeah, with all the sort of like elements that are breaking down, and you know what I mean, all that sort of stuff, and the Inception kind of style thing. Yeah. But I don't know. They just. Yeah.
That's the funny thing, though, right? Is if at the end of that trailer it just said Remedy and a different name, it would have been. I think it would have been a really cool way to end it, because like I said, I do think it was a good trailer, and if it said Remedy, that would have come with expectations that okay, this is going to be a really cool game. But because it was Call of Duty, it just kind of instantly just brings that right down. So
definitely, yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, like this showcase, I think is definitely one of the weakest, and I feel like it's the weakest probably of the showcase season as well, in a sense, which is a bit strange because it's usually strong from Xbox. And yeah, like I thought the Summer Game Fest show at the start was really good. Lots of great games in that, and even like the Future Game Show was great as well. And yeah, lots of stuff been shown off. I don't know why. I think they could have used the full hour and a half. I think for games, I think they should have probably just and just tweaked a few of the ones that are in there. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing in a sense, but I guess not always going to be able to win them all. But I don't know. I think it was one of their weakest ones. I can't help but feel a bit disappointed. You know how I usually am. I'm quite usually positive about sort of stuff like that, but it doesn't matter to me though. If I'm honest with you, it really doesn't. There's so many games. And by the way, just in case you didn't know, Steam Next Fest starts tomorrow, and there's so many great games going to be shown off in that. And I don't know how long you've got, guys, but we can just quickly go over. I don't think you've probably watched any of the rest of the shows anyway, actually, to be honest. But yeah, there's been some great games shown. Like Mixtape has been shown off over the Summer Game Fest. Like games like Mouse PI for Hire, that black and white shooter, which has got that sort of like Cuphead sort of art style, that old-fashioned art style, but it's a first-person shooter you've probably seen knocking about the place. Those kind of games. Mio has been shown off, which is a great Metroidvania, which looks phenomenal. There's a plethora of amazing games being shown off. We've got Sword of the Sea, which was shown off as State of Play. like just loads. I won't just list off games because it's difficult for you to. If you haven't seen the game, then it's obviously no concept, no context even. But yeah, overall, I think it's been a really great sort of showcase sort of weekend kind of thing. But Xbox didn't really bring their best, if in my opinion. They had a few indie games on there which I really liked, but not as many as usual, I would say. And overall, I can, even from an objective sort of standing back point, because I love the indies, but I always also look at it as did it deliver on for other people as well. I don't always just look from my own point of view, and I don't really think it did in that sense either. But should we do a little score and round up for the final of Xbox? Do you want to do that, guys, or little final thoughts? Yeah, sounds good. How about yourself then, Scott? Do you want to do a final roundup, your thoughts on it all, and give us a little cheeky score as well for fun?
Yeah, I think it's worth highlighting. Like, we obviously spoke about a lot of games that we like the look of, so it's not like it was a bad showcase. There was lots of stuff that were there, lots of stuff that looked cool. I think it was just it didn't reach the the usual highs that we expect from this type of show. But yeah, I think highlights for me probably, let's go back through my list. Keeper, definitely. Definitely not high on Life 2. I can tell you that much. Probably Clockwork Revolution look good. Planet of Lana 2, At Fate's End. I think those are probably the ones that stand out. And obviously a couple of those being indie games as well. I still think it's good that Xbox showcase indies in the same way they do, a triple A game. But if I was scored, I'd maybe give it like, I don't know, 6.5.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd land.
Yeah, that's cool, my friend. Good stuff. Well, let's go over to Luke and see what your final thoughts are, brother.
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same as Scott. I think highlights of Keeper and Clockwork, and yeah, probably about a 6. These shows often, like, there'll be people who watch that and were into everything, and they'll think it's like a great, for them it'll be a great show. So it just depends, on the games that are shown and what your taste and preference is. But at least for me, I wasn't too high on that one. So, but definitely some good stuff and a 6.
Cool. No, that's fair enough. Let us know in the chat, by the way, what was your final verdict on the show? Would give it a score out of 10 just for fun, guys. Don't worry, we won't hold you to it. But yeah, it's just be interesting to hear your final scores and maybe your favorite game from the show. Let us know in the chat before we wind things up. My final take on it is, little disappointed, as I said. Few games in there definitely stood out. That's what I was trying to take away as like the good side of things. I mean, I don't know if we're all considering Silksong as part of the showcase, but it was there, so that'll obviously be part of it in that sense. But yeah, obviously there was. I think probably my favorite was actually that Aphelion, the Don't Know game. I'd say it's up there, or Planet of Lana 2. They're definitely up there. I mean, Planet of Lana 2 is probably, there's more gameplay on show there, but I think they're both up there. I feel like I've really got a good feeling about Aphelion being really good because I really love Jusant, and I just think that's going to be a really cool story that they're going to take that to next. But yeah, so that's what else did we have as well? We had the Super Meat Boy game. That was pretty cool to see. If I'm honest, not a ton. Kronos as well. Kronos looked right. Yeah, I think there's other showcases, like I say, which I can't help but think about right now, knowing that there was a lot of others which were shown off that looked more to my taste. So yeah, a bit down on the Xbox showcase this year, if I'm honest. Some good things came out of it for me, but I would probably say this is going to be a first. I reckon I'm going to score it lower than you guys. Usually I'm quite positive, as you know. Okay. I'd probably give it a 5 if I'm honest with you.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's a 5 for me. So yeah, obviously no reflection on the games that I did like, but overall disappointment from you know, just not a ton of really good games, and it was some weird choices in places, in my opinion, as well. But yeah, 5 is my score, guys, on that one. And yeah, so that is probably our breakdown. We probably haven't got enough time to do any other stuff anyway. And I think Scott was away anyway on his holidays, and Luke, I don't know if you caught much of the other stuff, did you, buddy?
I did. I watched Summer Game Fest and the
you did? Cool.
State of Play. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Or do you want to do just a quick paragraph about that? So it's up to you. But what did you think of those, real quick? Or
yeah, there was sort of in the same boat, I think, as the Xbox one. Like they were decent, both decent, not phenomenal, but punctuated by like some really good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Summer Game Fest, you know, had some really cool stuff in there. Obviously, the big one at the end was Resident Evil Requiem, which was awesome. Great to see that. And then the State of Play had the Marvel game, which I really liked. Pragmata, which was re-revealed.
Yeah.
There were others, I just can't remember. One I will highlight, which is an indie game as well, and we already knew about this, but it just continues to look incredible. Is Sword of the Sea.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I thought you were
yeah, so
that's not that far away.
That looked phenomenal, and I think on PlayStation at least that drops into their like PS Plus extra premium tier, which is cool. So
that is cool.
Yeah, that looks fantastic, and was a big highlight of all the shows in terms of like the game show. And so
definitely,
you know, like lots of really cool stuff shown across all the showcases. Just not quite the blockbuster period of like amazing showcases all the time, you know. It's just like a bit of a typified by the Xbox One, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, I don't know whether it's because it was starting it all off for me and all that, but like I really, really did enjoy the pacing and everything of the delivery of all of the Summer Game Fest show this time. It was much better than last time. Yeah. But yeah, no, it had some good, like you said about it had did it have? No, it didn't have it in the. It was in the State of Play, the Sword of the Sea, wasn't it? Or was it in the? That was in Summer Game Fest as well, was it? I think maybe.
It might have. Oh, it was in Day of the Devs.
Was it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. Yeah.
But it was also. It was in the State of Play.
Yeah. So like, Summer Game Fest had a few. Like there was a. This is one I got to mention because, I think it's really up your street, and hopefully you saw it. But it's called. Well, I don't know if it's called ILL or Ill. Did you see that game by any chance?
Oh yeah, yes, I did. Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm just skeptical of how much is gameplay.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Fingers
cool
crossed.
Concept.
Fingers crossed. A lot of it because it's very disturbing and really cool. Sort of like defamation and like dismemberment sort of stuff, isn't there? Which is pretty cool. I think it looks. Yeah, it's really like. Yeah. Don't play that if you can't sleep very well at night. So it's but yeah, that looks really cool. That game, if you like that survival horror thing again, psychological, crazy, over the top, in your face horror as well, basically. But yeah, there was a bunch which were really good. I thought the Future Game Show did a really good job. There were some cool ones in there, like Constance, which was a Metroidvania. Call of the Elder Gods is a sequel to Call of the Sea, which is looking cool. And it's a Lovecraftian game again. Formula Legends is a top-down racer, which definitely is up my street. It's like a Formula One game, and it's a bit like that sort of Circuit Superstars vibe, where you have to sort of do pit stops, and you can choose your tyres on this one though when you have to go in and do the pit stop and then come out again, which looks great. Formula Legends, you can get a demo of that on Steam right now. But yeah, what I will be doing, by the way, guys, is putting together a video of my top picks from Showcase season. I did that previously, so a couple of years ago, I think it was now. So I'm going to do that, and I'll round up my best picks for you. So that's the easiest way, rather than me just rumbling on and just telling you loads of games which have no context. I'll do a breakdown of my top 15 or something. So keep an eye out for that, and subscribe if you haven't already to, be ready for it to check out those indie games. But yeah, mixtape massively excited for that game. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer recently, the new one. And I just love Beethoven and Dinosaur as a developer. I just love all the little developer diaries with Johnny Galvatron, I think his name is. He used to play in the band and all that, which you probably know anyway. And now he's a developer, and he's just so cool, and he's just so funny, and it's just, I don't know, just you can tell his personality is the game in a way. But yeah, I think Mixtape looks awesome. Did you see the trailer of it, the new one?
Yeah, it looked really good. Continues to look great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? Cool. Yeah, I won't, like I say, I've got loads done on my list, but I won't bore you any longer, guys. I just wanted to round it up now, basically. So thank you so much, everyone who has joined us for our return stream. It's been a while, as we said. It has been a year since the podcast, which is bonkers, but it's quite poetic to bring it back exactly a year later, hey? And yeah, we're hoping to continue to do that. So like I say, I'll be bringing the videos back on the regular. And yeah, if Scott and Luke are still up for it after this session, hopefully we can do some more podcasts as well, which will be awesome. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone in the chat. But I just want to say thank you so much, firstly, to Scott for joining me again. I hope you haven't been put off. I hope you've enjoyed your time tonight, chatting some games again. It's certainly been awesome to catch up with you, bro. Yeah, thanks for being part of it.
No, it's good to be back, mate. Look forward to doing it again, hopefully, in the not too distant future.
Yes, absolutely. Not another year till the next one, hopefully. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, we'll make that happen. Would you like to shout out where they can find you as well, my friend?
I don't even know where to say these days. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. Who knows? I'm on Twitter a bit more these days, I guess. But SX2 Gaming on the socials.
Cool, fantastic. And I wonder if you never know, you might even get your channel up and running again one day on YouTube.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe
Nice.
2025 will be the year of reviving.
It's
games
the
podcasts,
year
so.
of the revival. Yeah, sounds good. Love it. Well, thanks again, buddy. It's been awesome hanging out with you. And Luke, bro, equally the same. It's been fantastic, brother. Yeah, thank you very much for coming back on. Always a pleasure hearing your takes. And yeah, would you like to shout out where they can find you as well, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure. Great being on with you two again. And we'll, as Scott said, hopefully do it again soon. Yes. Every year. So yeah, no, just at Steele90 on the various socials. You'll find me there.
Fantastic stuff. Powered up by a 5090 as well, theoretically again. How's that going?
20% of the power from the national grid.
Yes, exactly. Amazing.
Yeah, it's going very well.
It's going good on that front. Good. We'll get into that again. We were going to, once we have another podcast, we're going to, get into all of that meat as well, rather than just letting the showcase take over, eh? But yeah, we'll have a good old chat on that. But yeah, we'll make it happen again sometime soon, guys. And once again, thank you so much to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Stubbs Gaming. Thank you for being here. Ruby Tellus, or Tells, I never know which way around that is, but thank you very much, Ruby, for being here. Mr. VJ in the house. What a pleasure to see you, my friend. I haven't seen you for such a long time, so I haven't seen all of you guys, to be honest. If I'm honest, I've been out of action, as you know. Paul S, I really am glad to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to see you back in, my friend. So thanks for the support, and yeah, looking forward to chatting some more in the future. Who else did we have in today? Meisuko in the house, the legend. Thank you for being here, buddy. Anyone else up here? We had Scott on the show. Don't do a Stubbs. We had Vansum in the house. Thank you very much for being here. And Rescue Squad Culp as well. And anybody else who was lurking in the background, thank you so much for being here. And if you're checking it out after, definitely drop us a comment in the comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the Xbox Showcase and any highlights that you might have had, and what was your score out of 10. Let us know down below. But thank you so much, everyone who checked it out today. It means the world. And like I say, we'll be back again real soon with some indie games focused content. Keep an eye on the channel. We will be back, we promise you that. We love you. And we look forward to seeing you again soon on the channel. Thank you very much for checking it out, guys. And I'll catch you on the next one.